Welcome everyone to the Community Board 3 SLA and DCA Licensing Committee meeting. We are going to get started shortly. Just give me 1 second to open a document. Ready, Michael? You're signed in and everything? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief description of kind of how the flow of the meeting is going to go this evening, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go through the items. First, I'll go through the agenda. We have a couple items that withdrew. Item number 4, Nanzang Zhao Longbo, was 15 St. Mark's Place. It was moved to an administrative approval, so it is not heard tonight in committee. If anyone is here for that, it will not be heard. And item number 5 and 6, La Contenta LES, 102 Norfolk Street, and Vallarta Tropical, 106 Norfolk Street. They've both been moved. They've been withdrawn from this month's meeting. They may be back at a later date. So please watch the calendar if you are interested in either of those items. So I'm going to go through the items and I will call on the item. I will give a brief description and then we will hear from the applicants. We will hear from the public. It will move to committee for discussion and then we'll move to a vote. We are going to we have an expedited process for certain items that are very simple or they're not controversial. There's one item tonight that I think we will take as an expedite item, and then we will possibly go in order depending on the number of people that are here for items. So, are you? Okay. Yes. Susan, did you sign in as, I think this is, I'm trying to promote Michael to co-host. Right there. Yeah, if you go here, it doesn't.
And maybe it's because he's already signed in there.
Oh. Go to, it was only allowing me to promote panels, not to co-host. It doesn't allow me to. Are you signed in this time?
Let me go online and see if I can do it.
Okay. Apologies, everyone. We're having a technical difficulty here with the Zoom meeting. Just give us one moment and then we can promote the applicants or the attendants who are here for number 2, which we're going to go through very quickly. Yeah.
Do you want to? What?
Do you want to yeah, go ahead.
Next, excuse me, I'm just. Michael, can I suggest that you sign out and sign back in,
Yeah.
and then I'm the host on here, so I'll ask you.
Okay. Okay, can you hear us now? Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you, everyone. Sorry about that again. Okay, so I'm going to give a brief description. Is the applicant here for 139 Ludlow Street? I don't think they're here in the room. Please raise your Zoom hand if you are the applicant. Okay, I see them, they've commented, so I think it's Ben Savitsky. Okay, so this is Soho Ludlow Incorporated, doing business as Ludlow House, is seeking an alteration. They're adding a service bar to the interior garden area of the ground floor. They already have a full on-premises license. The establishment already has a license for, or a certificate of occupancy for 1,000 people, 122 tables, 468 seats, one bar on the ground floor with 14 seats, serving during all hours. There are 45 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This business has been operating since 2003. The applicant is the current operator of this business at this location. There have been 9 311 complaints in the location with police action necessary in the past 12 months. We did receive a letter from the Lower East Side dwellers in support of this application, that they have been good neighbors. And did count these up, saved it. I just checked out, sorry.
I'm sure this.
So, okay, 5 residents who live within 2 blocks of location signed a petition in favor. And generally, it's a pretty simple application. They are essentially just adding a service bar to their outside area that is covered with a retractable roof. And it seems to be a real minimal change to their method of operation. So I don't think anyone here in the committee had any issues. The applicant, Ben, we'll go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and speak. If you have anything to add.
I had a whole spiel prepared. Hi, good night, but good morning, good evening. But you summarized the whole thing very well. That's it. It's a service bar. It's not a stand-up bar. It's just for wait staff to help serve beverages.
Yep. And you're not, I mean, I went through the application, but you're not changing anything else from your original application, your stipulations, correct?
All the stipulations remain the same. The only thing with the service bar is we are moving around some furniture inside, but that's all just part of the new floor plan.
Okay. Is there anyone here in the room from the public that would like to speak to this item, 139 Ludlow Street? If not, I do think there are some people here on Zoom. So as again, this is an expedited item, so I'm really not going to take a lot of comments. If you have anything significant and noteworthy, please raise your Zoom hand. I see Marcel, we're going to go ahead and promote you. I mean, you're promoted, go ahead and unmute yourself. Marcel, you can unmute yourself, please, and speak.
Hi, I think I'm not speaking on this item.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move you back to the residents. Allison, are you speaking for this item?
Hi, yes, I'm the general manager of Ludlow House. I was just raising my hand as the operator.
Okay, thank you. I just wasn't sure if you were here from the public, so that's fine. Okay, so no one's here, I think, for the public to speak on this item. Does anyone on the committee have any questions? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just quickly read. We're going to put the stipulation on the screen and just quickly read through them, and then we will move to a vote. Okay, so it's Thomas Collins as a qualified representative of Soho Ludlow Incorporated. The license type is a full liquor. We'll operate a private membership club with kitchen open serving food during all hours. Hours are 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. all days. We'll close all outdoor dining under the temporary restaurant program or any outdoor uses at 10 p.m. They will employ a doorman or security, soundproofing. It's the whole building. I will close any front rear. That was one thing you did not check off, and I checked on your previous. I think you don't have any open facade windows or doors, right? You have a closed fixed facade, correct?
The facade is fixed. The only thing that I would mention is that the retractable roof, we can close it at 10 during the week and 11 on the weekends.
Yes, that was your original stipulation, so that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and check your closed fixed facade just because it's specifically the facade. And then same as before, you will have DJs, live music, but they're all internal, no third-party promoted events or any event which a cover fee is charged. You are not only playing on background music. You will not apply for an alteration. You will not participate in pub crawls. You will not have unlimited drink specials. You will not have happy hour. You will not have wait lines. You will employ a staff person to ensure no loitering. You will post a stipulation and residents may contact the manager at the number below. Everything look good on that?
Yeah, the old stipulation did have the closing hours of the retractable roof, but if you don't want it in there, then it's fine.
You know what, we will put that, I think we'll put that at the bottom just so it's on, just for number 18, can you say, we'll close the retractable roof at 10 p.m. And it was Monday through Thursday or Monday through Wednesday? Sunday through Thursday or Sunday through Wednesday?
Sunday through Wednesday was 10 p.m.
And then 11 p.m. Saturday. And just one question while he's typing that, do you have any explanation or knowledge for the number of 311s that involved police, that the police showed up and took some sort of action in the last year?
Yeah, so the majority of those were because they had a fire alarm that was going off because there was a CO2 leak. It wasn't anything they were doing intentionally, but it would set off the alarm, and people would complain about it, but they haven't fixed it.
It didn't involve your loud parties or anything else. It was sound from a fire alarm.
That's what most of them was for. There might be other ones that were related to noise complaints, but all the neighbors have their number and they call if there's an issue.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that because I don't think the office has had any complaints, and generally I think you're pretty self-contained. So, okay, so we have that.
Number 14.
Oh, just check the last one. Sorry, because they aren't having actors. Okay, so there's nothing else in the stipulation form. This is the resolution and stipulation that stand. We're going to just do a quick vote on that. John Val?
Yes.
Sarah Bachu?
Yes.
Amanda Lou?
Yes.
Cliff Meltzer, yes. Michael Lavari?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion passes. The office will be sending out the stipulations forms to you within the next couple of days. You just need to get those signed and notarized and back to us. And you can ask, if you have any other questions on that, you can address them with the office.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
So we're gonna move into the rest of the items. We're gonna do a quick, just a quick little check here. If I know there's several people here in the office for number 11, which is 235 Eldridge Street, and there's several people here for number 19, which is 99 Stanton. Can you please raise your Zoom hand if you are here for 99 Stanton? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I see 3 people on the Zoom, and we have 2 people in the room. Can you please raise your Zoom hand? Okay, take your hand down for 99 Stanton. Can you please raise your hand if you're here for 235 Eldridge Street? Have you both signed up for speaker forms, right?
Yes, we did.
The 3 of you, so 3, and then I see 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I think we're gonna take those 2 items first because it seems to be the most amount of people here for those items. Looks like, I think they're equal, but I think we'll go in order. So we're gonna do 245 Eldridge Street first. If the applicants are here for 245 Eldridge Street, please raise your Zoom hand. We're gonna promote you. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Margaret Cho. I reside at 246 Eldridge Street. I've been living there for 18 years.
Margaret, can you hold on just 1 second? So first I'm gonna give a summary and then we're gonna let the applicant speak and then we're gonna move to the public. So
Okay.
hold on just 1 second and we'll call on you when it's time to speak. And I see, I think that's Stacy, right? You're here for the applicant?
Yes, I'm the attorney. And the
Yes.
applicant is here too, someplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you have them raise their Zoom hand or ask them to?
Yeah, hold on, let me, I don't
Excuse me,
know
what-
why they're not, saying anything.
Yeah, I don't see anyone else with their Zoom hand up. at this
Yeah, give me 1 second, okay?
point. Sure. I think there's another one. We haven't heard this one.
This one.
Sorry, I don't know why. I have them on the phone. I don't know why they're not raising their hand. I apologize. Maybe they're just on the phone call. What should they do if they're just on the phone?
What's their phone number? We can, because there's some phone numbers. Is-
Yeah, I have a phone number of 301-582. 5394. That's the
Okay.
manager's number.
Okay,
Oh,
we just-
8394. I'm sorry. That's the
just-
manager.
So they're gonna be allowed, they can speak. Okay. Is there anyone else? Is the manager the only one here? Is the applicant?
No, the applicant is also there.
What's the applicant's?
Okay, let me get you his number. Give me 1 second. I have it on, it's on the application. Let me see. She says they're raising their hand, but I don't know what they're. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. I gotta get to the application here. Don't have it in front of me.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I hear you.
Is that Geraldine?
Yes, I am.
Are you the manager owner for 245 Eldridge Street?
She's the manager.
Yes, I am. The
Okay,
manager.
okay. Now, just, I want to make sure, is there anyone else here as the applicant
Yes.
for?
Yes, Michelle, and his number is 201-470-9645.
Okay, we don't see anyone with that.
I don't think you can hear me. Can you hear Michelle?
No, I can't hear him. Does anybody hear Michelle?
No, so who is the number that's 301? And it
That's-
ends
That's
Three.
Geraldine.
Okay, so Geraldine, you're in twice, so but that's okay, that's fine. We just need to get the other person so we can move on. And if not, I'm gonna have.
Can you get Michelle on the phone, Geraldine?
He's on the phone with me.
Oh, he's with you. In the same place?
Yes, he is.
Oh, he's at the same location with her.
Okay, so you're both there. Okay, I'm gonna move on to give a brief summary of the situation. And then we're gonna let you speak, we're gonna move on to the public, and then we're gonna move on to the committee discussion.
Okay.
So this is an application for Atelier Lower East Side, LES, doing business as Graffito, seeking an upgrade to a full on-premises license for the premises located at 245 Eldridge Street. It's retail number 1 between Stanton and East Houston. It's an application for establishment of 40 people, no tables, 15 seats at the bar, serving small plates and tapas at a perimeter area with food served during 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. with no television, no recorded and recorded background music only. There are 19 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This applicant has a total of 5 establishments, including temporary and pending locations within Manhattan. There have been 5 NYPD noise within the last 2 years. 5 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed a petition to favor the application. And I think that's a general quick summary. Do you want to go ahead and add anything to that or make any changes or corrections to what I've said?
Well, they've only been there 10 months, so I don't know if anything, you said 2 years for complaints, but they've been there 10 months.
Okay. So was this?
They've had a liquor license they've had a wine and beer license for a little over 10 months now.
Was this, I'm just looking at something. Were you approved as an admin approval?
I believe they might have been because they close at 12 o'clock, no outside area for wine and beer.
When you sign the admin approval, you're agreeing to not apply for an upgrade for a minimum of 12 months so that we can see how you've been operating. And this is kind of checking. And to be honest, I'm going to say something, I will say myself, you have 3 wine complaints within those first 12 months with a beer wine admin approval. Makes me really uncomfortable even considering an upgrade to a full license at this point.
Okay. Do you want to talk about that, Geraldine? What were the complaints?
We didn't have any problems at the location at the moment. What they are asking is why they get in and they say they want to hear like more variety of drinks, and then because we don't have besides wine and beer, so they leave.
But can you address the fact that you've had complaints within the last year? You've only been open 10 months, but there's been 5 within the last year.
No, there are 2 in the last year.
Or 2 in the last year.
2 in the last year. And
can you address?
What were the complaints for?
There were noise complaints.
Noise complaints.
Yes, that the police showed up and took police action, not meaning there was any kind of citation, but meaning the police showed up and said, you're too loud, turn it down, but there was at least some kind of police action. It wasn't that they showed up and there was nothing going on.
Can you address that, Geraldine?
Well, we haven't heard any complaints about the noise because our noise is very low. There is no anything like the door is closed, and we only open for 3 days right now at the moment. So
3 days.
That's
yes,
okay.
we open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the moment.
Because of business?
And we don't even open until 12. We close at 11.
Okay. So they're open 3 days a week and they're closing at 11 right now.
Okay.
So I don't know how could there be, really any noise complaints. Maybe.
Same question I have. So I guess because we're hearing this, I mean, there are some residents here, but I think If you were approved, so we can't approve you for an upgrade if you were approved under an admin approval. And that's what I'm looking at. And you said you think you were?
I'm not sure. I really don't remember. But even if they were, why can't we come back to you and get a,
Because you signed an agreement saying you would not come back for a minimum of a year.
okay. Okay,
And we do that so that, one, we can see that you've been operating successfully for the course of a year through several seasons, et cetera, before we would upgrade you. But it's also because the upgrade, the admin approval is basically for places that are very low impact with beer and wine closing by midnight. And if you're coming back with only operating 10 months, I don't know that that was ever your intent to really be that type of operation. So a lot of things are kind of giving me pause on this application personally, so.
well, at the time, that's what they were gonna be a tavern wine and serve only, beer and cider and wine, but obviously, people are coming in and they're leaving because then there's no, they would like a cocktail with, with what they're eating.
I
And
understand that, but they could
and
have,
they're only open 3 days a week right now because of that. And that's why they're looking to get an upgrade.
I understand, but you came in and you told us one method of operation and then in a fairly short time later, you're coming back to change. And I'm not with that because we approved it based on that.
I understand. So if we come back in 2 more months, I mean, is that going to be?
Not necessarily, because you've had some violations, you've had some entry and one.
We have no
and-
violations.
Not
Yeah.
violations.
Yeah.
No
No.
violations.
Yeah.
I misspoke, no violations, but you've had complaints and there are obviously some residents here that I'm not sure if we're going to need to hear, but I may hear them anyways, because I think your intention is to come back.
We shouldn't be hearing them.
Yeah, well, I just need to find out. I don't want to not approve them if they weren't approved administratively, and that's what I need to check.
Yes, so that is the point, like we really will have to close because there is no business at the moment.
I'm sorry, but that's not, I feel bad for you, but that's not something we need to take into consideration right now.
Why don't we check that and we'll move to a different
Yeah.
item? So we
Can someone go ask Susan to check if 245 was approved administratively, please? Thanks.
And just as a point of clarification, there are two licenses for 245.
Yes.
And so I
That's-
think that might
Oh,
contribute to the 311 complaints. I don't know
it could,
which
you're right.
establishment it is, but wanted to
The
clarify.
other one's like a Japanese restaurant, I think.
Yeah, with it, yeah.
Well, what's the time of the,
yeah.
we can look at the time of the noise complaint. and
So-
find out.
What days of the week and what time was that?
Yeah. so
Actually, there's an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, you know what, I have it.
Yeah, 11:22 PM and then 12:30 AM.
So they're not open at that time.
Well,
What day of the week? What day of the week was it? They're only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What day of the week was it?
Honestly,
that's irrelevant.
it
We
doesn't
don't
matter
need to
if
discuss
it
that.
was administrative.
Well, they're not open. They weren't open at that time anyway. 12:30, definitely not.
11, but that doesn't mean they're closing 11 every night. I'm just.
Okay, but 12:30, they definitely are closed by 12:30. So that
Point.
definitely wasn't them.
It doesn't mean they close at 12. We hear this often, so. Anyways,
Well, I mean, you could say that about anybody. I mean, if they have a license that says they have to close at 12, why would they close at 12:30?
Casey, I'm not debating with this. This is
Okay.
irrelevant. If they were approved under an admin approval, we could, if you want to be heard, we could deny you or you have to withdraw because we can't, our guidelines that you signed were for, you would not come back until at least you've been operating for 1 year.
Okay, so let's find out if they were admin.
We're checking
And-
that,
And
right?
if they were, we'll reapply and come back in 2 months.
You're welcome to reapply whenever you choose.
I understand that. Of course.
So we should just.
Okay. So.
Yep.
We're gonna move to another item because we need to confirm if you were actual and admin approval. It sounds like you were, but I'm just not fully comfortable until we actually confirm that.
Okay. So
So-
we'll wait until you confirm it and we'll deal
Yes.
with it then.
So we're gonna just put you on hold, on pause right now. We're gonna move on to another item and we'll come back to you shortly after that.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll
if you-
hold. We'll hold. Thank you.
Well, I have an applicant. This is what they call themselves, by the way. Look at that. Welcome to the shit
Okay,
show.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
let's move on.
So, okay, we're gonna take 99 Stanton Street now. If you're here, if the applicant is here for 99, okay, Frank is here in the office, I know. You're here for 99 Stanton, are the applicants online? Okay. If you're the applicant for 99 Stanton, please raise your Zoom hands. We're gonna promote you. So that's David.
Because if they were
Yeah.
Just hit raise hand.
Yeah, so we got, well, David, I don't think David is the applicant. I think David is here to speak in support or opposition. He's a member of the public, but is the applicant here for this item? Peter?
Aaron,
Yeah, promote. Aaron A is, yes. And May. No. Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you.
They were not.
It was not.
This is the different one, this is the. Yeah, but I would like, I'll show you. And back then, if it was admin.
Okay, so we have Aaron, we have May. I'm not sure if Peter is.
I guess we just put it in the same folder. Because this is atelier and this is what we're hearing now.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I have.
It sounds, no, I think you're right, Sarah.
I mean, I have the agenda. See, you would always put it in items on her when it's administratively approved. Yeah, I remember this one.
Which is weird because they didn't all. I don't know why. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna give a brief summary of 99 Stanton. I think we have everyone promoted. We have heard this a couple times in the past, so I think there's just a few changes with this application. Sing Sing LES Stanton Corp. is seeking a beer wine license in the premises located at 99 Stanton between Ludlow and Orchard Street. It's an application for an establishment of 155 people with 36 tables and 124 seats, one stand-up bar, 24-foot long on the second floor, a full kitchen serving food during all hours of operation, with 2 TV monitors, music from streaming service playlists at background levels. There are 44 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. The location has been previously licensed to Stanton Surf Club, which was doing business as Stanton Social. They had a full license that was closing by 2 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. That business has been closed for about 5 years. There's been no intervening businesses at this location since they closed in December of 2018. The applicant currently holds a full OP license for Tower 4 Liberty Market at 185 Greenwich Street, which is located in CB1. They've only had a very minimal amount of 301 complaints since 2018 at that location, and they do not have any history of actual violations with the SLA. We received letters in opposition from 5 residents and from the Lower East Side dwellers, and there was one letter that included 9 signatures from the building next door at 101 Stanton. 31 residents who live within 2 blocks of this location signed a petition in favor of the application. So I'm going to give there's also a few things. I think previously they were here for a full liquor license. They've now changed it back to beer and wine. They previously had early hours. They are now asking for 4 a.m. every night. They are also, it appears that they're asking for DJs, live music, entertainment level music. They did not check off those things on their current application. So maybe they can clarify some of that. And I think the intent was still possibly to have karaoke, though it's not spelled out specifically on their application. So I think that is a summary. I'm going to turn it over to the applicants and their attorney. Can you please add or change or anything that needs to be corrected with my summary?
Good evening.
Hi, Frank.
So Anita?
Probably so that people online can hear you. So I don't think that either one of these are actually working. If you want to, you just talk him over here closer to the mic. Their hand up here. Yeah, sit, that's fine.
Yes, Cliff, just to amplify what you said, we did appear 14 or 15 months ago.
Oh, of the original.
The original, it was approved by committee, went to the full board, and it was disapproved at the full board. Then we came December
And January.
or January. And we offered an extremely streamlined application, the hours, the hours primarily, and the fact that we're willing to make certain accommodations as far as keeping security guards on the street, half an hour after close. That was also disapproved. That was disapproved by committee. So at this point, there's no alternative for us but to pursue line beer license. I don't know about karaoke. That was never a part of this application, all 3 times. So I'm not sure where that
But it was
came.
mentioned at one of the previous meetings, I think it was mentioned. Something they were
That's news to me, because this has been a restaurant since day one, so.
Okay, that's fine, that's actually,
And the live music and DJ, sure. The live music and DJ, that's not something that's gonna go on all the time, it's something that we'd like to have the capability to do, particularly when we do private parties and things like that.
okay,
But other than that, I think your summary was as usually accurate.
okay. May or Aaron, do you have anything to add to what Frank just clarified before we move on to the members of the public?
No.
Okay, can you clarify? I feel like I remember karaoke being mentioned, or is that not happening at all? Was that?
That was never mentioned, no.
Okay, so that's fine. So that's off the table. Can you explain, I'll let you, but I just have a question about what are you thinking? Frank said it's not going to be all the time. What are you thinking as far as DJs, live music, et cetera, scheduled performances?
Scheduled performances, no.
Okay, that wasn't checked off either, so.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, as Frank mentioned, just being able to do that for special occasions, it's definitely not going to be a nightly thing that we have, but we would like to have that option, only for special.
Can you tell me or explain what that would be comprised of?
So if there's, let's say, birthday party or private parties and, they want to have a DJ in place, that's something that we would like to be able to do.
So, okay, so that's the DJs who would have it for private parties, and that would be at entertainment level, or would that be at background level?
I did, background level.
Okay, so that would be DJs for private parties at background level.
Correct.
And what about the live music?
Same thing.
But it would be at background level, would it be non-amplified, acoustic, 1, 2, 3-piece groups? I mean, what are you thinking in terms of that?
So it depends on the need of those private parties if they would like to have a small jazz band or something of that nature for their party. That's something that, again, we would like to extend and have that option.
Okay. Frank, go ahead.
Aaron, we could do with non-amplified, correct?
Yes, we don't have to.
Okay, so non-amplified live jazz music, that would be, again, that would just be for private parties, did you say? I'm sorry if I misheard that.
Yes, correct.
Both the DJs and the live music you're proposing for only private events. And when you say private event, that's an entire buyout of the whole restaurant?
No.
This is too big.
Okay, so normally when we refer to a private event, it's a buyout of the whole restaurant as opposed to just having a birthday party. I guess you have multiple floors, so I guess it's a little bit different in your situation.
Correct.
For parties rather than private, but it's.
Okay. And how often are you, I guess, thinking about or expecting to have these type of parties?
I mean, that's hard to say because it really depends on whether there are customers that come by and want that. If, there's no need, then of course, that's not something that will actively look for.
Yeah.
It really depends on, the clientele.
Yeah, so that's kind of an important thing for us when we're discussing this application, because if you're having private parties 3 and 4 nights every week, it really kind of takes us away, and you're having DJs and live music for that, it takes it away a little bit from a full service restaurant method of operation that you're proposing. So
we definitely don't plan on being an event space. It's gonna be a full service restaurant. That's gonna be the forefront. But the reason why we checked off those options is just so that in the instance that someone does want to have a private party, and have a DJ or have a live band, that's something that we, again, want to have that option, but by no means do we plan on changing our operations to be an event space. That's definitely not something that we plan on. It will be a full service.
Again, to clarify, do you have any more thoughts on, I know you're saying it's dependent on the need, but is this something you're thinking, if there's a need where they were going to come in and ask if people are going to be doing this 4 nights a week, is that something, because that, again, changes.
I don't think 4 nights a week is something we're thinking about.
No, absolutely not, no.
I think she is concerned about putting a number on it, because then you lose the ability to book parties. If you say 8 and you book 7. Right, Eric?
Because that's
Yeah, we would like to keep an option once or twice a week.
Which is fine. That's actually what I've been looking for. So we're going to say, for now, we're going to say you're proposing it twice a week. Is that?
That's fair, yes.
Okay. Okay, so I think, do you have anything else to add from the description that I read through previously?
No, I think you covered it all.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the members of the public. And I think we have 2 people here physically in front of us. If you're here from the public to speak to 99 Stanton Street, please raise your Zoom hand and we're going to promote you. And just wait till you're called upon and then you can unmute yourself and speak. I'm going to go ahead and these are dead. These are both dead. Yeah. And the light's not coming on for either of them, so I don't know.
Yeah, my heart is just.
Can you try it now?
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, David, since you're speaking, can you tell me if you can hear this clearly?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So, okay, we're just testing a handheld mic that we have here in the office. So if you want to hold on, I'm going to give the 2 people that are here in the office physically, they're going to speak first, and then I'm going to call on the people that are on Zoom.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is working.
This one seems to be.
So I'm going to call on David Troutman first.
Hi, I'm David Troutman. I live a very short block away from this location. And to give it
the thing is, you keep turning it off. There's buttons there. Okay.
To give an idea of the density that we have with alcoholic beverage control license in my neighborhood, there are 5 buildings on my block, my little short block, and there are at least 8 ABC licenses on that block. And this has led to some very, very serious problems with late night restaurants that eventually want to become nightclubs. We're having that experience now with Smash, which promised they would be something different than they were. They turned out to be something quite different now, and they're starting to cause serious problems in the neighborhood. If you walk from Allen Street to Ludlow Street, it's about a 30-second walk. And during that walk, you'll go by at least six of probably the worst commercial neighbors you could possibly imagine. I've named them numerous times at this board meeting, so I won't name them again. But we've also, this past July, had 2 shootings and 1 stabbing within my block. 2 of the events were fatal. One of them was a shot in the head, where I don't know if that guy eventually died or not. I was 10 yards away from that event when it happened, trying to sleep. And the police chief told me that the event started as a disturbance and an argument in a bar. So we know that the problems are very, very serious with the late night, and I hope you'll continue to deny this liquor license, or this wine and beer license. Thank you.
Thank you, David. If you want to go ahead and just hand that to Patrick, sorry. Okay, Patrick Wall.
Let's just deny that beer wine, just deny this whole application.
Please hold on, David. Sorry.
Hello, my name is Patrick Walsh. I live at 101 Stanton Street. 99 Stanton Street abuts my bedroom and my daughter's bedroom and the bedrooms of all of the people on that side of the building. As David was alluding to, I mean, I would argue with no fear of contradiction that we are living in the most chaotic, insane, noisy, crime-ridden corner of New York City. Sleep is nearly impossible. This, despite spending an obscene amount of time, like this time spent right here. 311 complaints, writing to our politicians, writing to you guys. Nothing happens except it gets worse and worse. This is disgusting. We are human beings. I don't trust this organization one bit. No restaurant opens to 4 o'clock, 7 days a week, with parties on demand or on the needs of whatever. We have needs. The community has needs that it is long past time that this community board honored. So I implore you, deny this. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's everyone here in person. We're gonna go ahead and call on the people on
Oh,
Zoom.
can I say one?
Yes, just one more. You don't need to like this.
No. I want to emphasize that they tried to do an end run around the community board by going straight to the SLA. This is sleazebag. And it does not build trust.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay, so I think I see Peter, you have your hand up. If you want to go ahead and unmute yourself. If you're here to speak to this item. Peter? Okay, I'm gonna move on to David because I know you were here to speak for this item and you were ready. So David, if you want to go ahead and speak.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
I'm David Machonis. I live in 101 Stanton Street as well. This is the neighboring building. I absolutely protest, it's not just to them having a wine and beer license, it's to this whole application. But let me first start by saying you there with the board said something that is actually not true along the way. And I think it's because you've been lied to by the applicants. They do have a disciplinary history with the SLA. They just didn't inform you. And they do because they are much more than just Sing Sing LES Stanton Corp. They are, Erin Ann is registered with the Department of State for Sing Sing Avenue A. Also, Boho Karaoke is run by the same people, just under different names. Here's their disciplinary history. Boho Karaoke, by the way, right around the corner. 2021. Civil penalty paid of $1,500. Another case number, 2018, civil penalty paid of $500. That's Karaoke Boho, and then Karaoke Sing Sing, AKA SMA Avenue A Entertainment Corp. And AKA Avenue A Karaoke Corp. All, by the way, notice all the karaoke, okay? 2019, $2,500, 2017, $3,000. These facts were sent to you in an email from Denise Witzman, who also lives in this building, as well as a large memorandum with all sorts of details. I hope you all read that. That was for your benefit, so you can understand the sort of scum that is applying to do business here. if they're saying that they're just going to do, it made me laugh. Acoustic acts, 2 or 3 performers. They say that with seriousness, and meanwhile, why are they?
So David, please
I'm sorry.
refrain from name calling. I'm sorry. It's just not. And you've also reached your 2 minutes, so if you can.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Got a little excited there.
I understand.
So let them, I mean, they cannot seriously be open till 4 a.m. and have such a light impact on the neighborhood. It's impossible. They also notice their application. They talk about needing security personnel, DJs, live music, third-party promoted things, pub crawls, drink specials, boozy brunches, all these things. It's way too much. We're going out of our minds here. We can't possibly, the whole application needs to be denied. They should be not,
So
they
David,
shouldn't
again,
be looking for all of that.
so if you could just get your closing statement in there, I'm going to move on to someone else.
That's basically it. Deny this whole application.
Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on to Denise. Denise, go ahead and unmute yourself and you can speak. Denise, are you here to speak? I think you're here to speak to this item 99 Stanton, correct? Please unmute yourself and speak. I hate Denise, we're going to have to move on. I'm sorry, we have a lot of items to get through tonight. So if you're here to speak, please unmute yourself and speak. Okay, I'm sorry, Denise, but we can't sit here and wait. So we're going to have to move on. I don't see anyone else with their hands raised. If you are to speak, please raise your Zoom hand. We're going to move on.
This person is Margaret.
Is Mark?
Yeah, Margaret was going to talk about something else.
Yeah, Margaret was here for Margaret was here for your item, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm May Zhang.
May is the applicant, I think. Well, she's gone now, but she was here as the applicant.
May Zhang.
Wasn't that? Yeah, or is that? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm here. My name is
Okay.
May Zhang, and I'm concerning about 14A Orchard Street.
So May, that's a different item that we're going to get to in a little bit. Right now, we're speaking about 99 Stanton. Sorry about that. Okay, so I don't see anyone else here for 99 Stanton. So we're going to move on to the applicants. Do you have anything in response to what you've heard from the community?
Do you have any questions for me about what was said? I don't want to address things that I think don't make sense.
So, my concern is, and I do know, Aaron, your history is with all of these karaoke places, which gives me pause.
Aaron's not associated with these karaoke places. Just because the word karaoke is in a corporation, she's not any of those licenses.
She is attached to some of the other licenses.
No, she
No, I'm
isn't.
not. No, I'm not.
And you've never worked at any of those establishments?
No, I have not.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where that information came from.
I have represented those karaoke places, just about every one of them.
Okay.
Aaron has been involved.
Okay. So the question I have is, you're proposing to be a legitimate full-service restaurant. You've asked for earlier hours previously when you had full liquor. Now you're going back to beer and wine and you're asking for 4 a.m. If you're a full-service restaurant, why are you needing 4 a.m.?
Because at this point, I mean, when we came for the most recent, let's call it January, but that's one of us.
Yeah.
When we came in January, we cut back our hours tremendously as a result of the neighbors' concerns. We were selling liquor, the markup's 3 times. If we can't sell liquor and we respect what the community is saying, we're serving wine and beer, we want to stay open as late as possible. Entirely possible we won't be open, and you might be right. Entirely possible. But this is a restaurant, absolutely is a restaurant, that's all it's going to be. I kind of dropped the ball, it looks like I didn't check the ones that automatically would agree to anyway. No boozy brunches, no party buses.
Okay. So all of
That's the answer. The answer is the economics. It's over 20, was it 25,000 a month in rent? You can't do it on limited hours with only wine and beer.
Okay. Does anyone else on the committee have any other questions about this?
I guess my question is, why make the choice to associate your name with a brand that is very clearly a local karaoke institution, more than one?
The only way,
if it's not.
but the only reason we did that is because we used the name karaoke in that location because it was going to be a different location. We just used the same corporation. We're not associating ourselves.
Okay.
And we
Yeah.
will said that there would be no karaoke in the place. It never was on our method of operation. We're not doing it.
Like, just as a consumer, if I were to go to karaoke and I think of Sing Sing, I would go there to do
Right.
karaoke.
But I guess if that was the trade name outside, yes.
Mhm.
It's just a corporation that we were going to do something with and didn't.
Okay, so it's not,
Not
that's
at all.
not the trade name, okay,
No.
interesting.
I generally, like, just feedback, I generally think 4 AM is late for restaurant. I agree with what the community members were saying on that. I encouraged us to think about beer wine last time we heard this application, since it was a restaurant. But
Still a restaurant.
Frank, what restaurants are open till?
Sarah, it's so, I hear what you're saying, I'm not even arguing with you.
Yeah.
Because I know you're right.
I know that's what.
But on the other hand, when it was liquor and it was shorter hours, that did nothing to impress you. And so it's like, we're damned if we do, and we're damned if we don't.
Well, I think folks want it to be a restaurant with restaurant hours and restaurant offerings, which
So
could be beer wine.
I think to answer your question, Frank, damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is one of the worst locations in Community Board 3. This few block area here is just, as some of those residents have said, is really out of control. So we are I myself, I'll speak for myself, I'm very reluctant to grant anything at this location, which is why we weren't willing to grant another full listing. It's been vacant for 5 years, which means the SLA would generally look at this as an unlicensed location now. So we are essentially licensing an unlicensed location when there's 44 and probably more than 44. I know there's some pending licenses within 500 feet.
7 pending. If that's the way you have to go, we would understand completely.
So my thought is the fact that they're asking, okay, I'm just gonna say, I would be comfortable, the only way I would be comfortable approving this, because you are asking for beer and wine, is if you're having a midnight closing. I don't even know that I'd be comfortable with the live music. I mean, private events, I could go either way to a point, but I don't know that I'd be comfortable with live music. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with a DJ, because that's an entirely different space than a full service restaurant. So my personal thought is I would only be willing to go with something in this location, even beer and wine, if it was a full service restaurant with early, as in midnight, maybe 1 AM on the weekends, closing hours. I don't know how the rest of the committee feels about that, if anyone has any other opinions or where we're at, but I'm gonna just say that's my opinion. And I know you said if that's what you want to go, that's okay, but.
No, I respect I understand your position.
Do you have any, or does the applicant have anything? I mean, is that something you would consider? Would you consider earlier hours with beer and wine?
As you can probably guess, earlier hours are not my domain.
Aaron, would that be something you would consider 12 o'clock during the week, 1 AM on the weekends?
So the last time, sorry, may I speak?
Go ahead.
Last time we were at this board meeting, it was for a full liquor license with shorter hours. It was actually 2 AM. And then the closing at 12 AM on weekdays. So that was our application for the full liquor license.
Yes.
And I do vividly remember during that meeting that you had said, if this was a beer and wine application, it would have been different. What has changed now?
You're asking for 4 AM, which is drastically different than.
No, I'm asking because now yes, 4 a.m. because now it's a beer and wine. And as everyone knows, the margins are definitely going to be lower. Not that that's, but that's the reason why we did modify the hours. And then now that we did that, we're getting pushed back even further to midnight when our full liquor license was.
Beer and wine is very different than a full liquor license in this area, in this location, because, and honestly, I know this is not part of your problem, but if we give you a full liquor license and someone else comes in, it's very hard for us to deny if they're going to operate with the same hours as you. So that's why we're very concerned about this. But full liquor till 4 a.m. is a very different establishment than beer and wine till 12 and 1. Susan?
So I'm gonna sort of disagree with you and some of the members. I don't think that beer and wine and full liquor are all that much different. I think the hours and a method of operation are much more important. And as far as, so we know beer and wine can't be denied. You cannot, there is no legal reason to deny a beer and wine. So that puts it in another category. As far as the hours, and you're saying you can't make the rent, I'm speaking as one who gets the complaints and deals with all the people in here, right? So what I'm gonna say is you're choosing this location. So the rent, if you want a lesser rent to, improve your margins, it's your choice for location. You're all very aware, this is probably one of the worst places in the whole world. Literally the whole world. So I'm saying from a complaint perspective, I would say method of operation and hours are the most important part.
So Aaron, now that you've heard that, do you have anything? Otherwise, we're going to move to, I think, a motion of some sort. And once we move to a motion, it's really closing the discussion with you. We're going to move to a motion, whether it be to deny or approve a certain stipulation. So do you have, after hearing what we've just said, do you have anything else to say or to change with your application? Or are you sticking with the 4 a.m. beer, wine, live music, DJs, etc.?
Yes, I'm here.
Next question?
No, I don't plan on making any changes.
Okay. So that being said, we're going to move on from this. She said she does not plan on making any changes. So we're going to move on from discussion with the applicant and community to committee discussion. So my thought is they are correct. And in this beer wine, it is much harder to deny at the state level. So what I would like to propose is, rather than an outright denial, which sometimes I feel like we could defend, I think in this case, it's better to make a deny unless they agree to the following stipulations. And the following stipulations would be 12 during the week, 1 on the weekends, no live music, no DJs, full service restaurant, all hours of operation, with maybe a few other details in there. Does anyone else on the committee have thoughts or any other? Because this way, if we send it up, if I have a feeling they would refuse to sign this, we would send it to the SLA as a denial because they refuse to sign the stipulations, and they would all be there in front of them. Therefore, if the SLA decides to grant it, they would at least consider our stipulations in what they do, that they refuse to sign. So does anyone else have thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm fine with stipulations that actually a full service restaurant, because I don't believe that's the intent.
It seems very ambiguous to me. I know she said what she's doing, but I don't know that, I don't feel it's super well thought out personally.
I don't think the SLA will, really take it like a denial. I'm agreeing with you. I think it's one thing to say I deny,
Yes.
and it's a much more reasonable thing to say deny unless the following stipulations, give the stipulations. They may change their mind. Sometimes people do. But often the SLA will impose the stipulations we ask for. Not guaranteed, but at the very least, it'll be a compromise.
Okay, does anyone have any thoughts on that? If not, or any alternatives, otherwise I will kind of propose or draft a little motion to,
I think I'm fine.
okay.
What?
Okay, so I guess the stipulations, so I'm gonna kind of just run through some stipulations here. And we'll use the same background information that I read earlier. We'll I'll add another whereas clause, is that, due to the saturation of liquor licenses and the crime in this area, it's, I will spell that out. It'll be in the resolution as some of the ones we've used before. So I think I would propose that Community Board 3 recommends denial of this application unless they agree to the following stipulations. It will operate as a full-service restaurant serving Korean American fusion, I think was the type, was what they said, during all hours of operation. Its hours of operation will be opening no later than 12 p.m. all days, closing by 12 a.m. I guess it would be Sunday through Thursday and 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday. It will not apply or will not use any commercial space for outdoor use. It will close any front or rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. every night. I think the facade there is currently fixed. So I think in that case, we would say it will have a closed fixed facade with the entrance door closing at 10 p.m. We would say it will play ambient recorded background music only, consisting of recorded music. When I have live music, DJs, promoted events, scheduled performances, or any event which cover fee is charged. It will not apply for any alteration in the method of operation without coming before CB3, will not host public crawls or party buses, will not have unlimited drink specials, will not have happy hours, will ensure there are no wait lines outside. We'll post this and we'll have a number for residents to call. Does anyone else have anything else that they feel we should add in to cover ourselves in this situation?
No, but definitely we need that full description of what the neighborhood is like.
And I also think
Some of the previous ones maybe.
they were proposing security. I think that's another thing. A full service restaurant, I don't think necessarily. I know they had said they would do that to help with the area, but I think security changes it as well from a full service restaurant. So
Restaurant doesn't have security.
We don't want security.
well, she mentioned security.
No, I'm saying,
today, but yeah.
for the neighborhood.
So, okay, so then that'll be also part of it, will not have security. And then I think another stipulation we usually put in here, which was not, and I don't remember if they checked off the application, but I think our standard one is we'll install soundproofing so that sound is not audible in neighboring apartments. Anything else that anyone feels I've missed to cover the situation in this area? Okay. Is there kind of like, do I need a straw poll for that? Is everyone on board with that? Okay, so I guess I just read through the stipulation. I will add, I will pull some of the whereas clauses we've had for other locations in this area. I'll add that whereas clause in. So at that point, I guess I'm gonna go, this will be the resolution and the vote. I'm gonna move to a vote on this. John? Val?
Yes.
Sarah Batchu?
Yes.
Amanda Lou?
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes. Michael Lavario, yes. Frank, you know the drill. We'll send it to you. You choose not to sign it, and we'll
Thank you for
go
consideration.
from there. But thank you, Frank. Okay.
We had talked about me kind of explaining to the community board some of the situations that come up. You want me to do that now? Or later on?
That might be better at the end. Maybe we do that at the end.
Okay.
But here's the question, Susan. I'm going to pull this file. Was 245, I don't see an admin approval for 245. I think it was heard at committee. We were going to deny them, or we were going to ask them basically, it had only been 10 months they were open, but I don't think it was an admin approval.
Is there any?
There's a whole resolution, but I don't see anything about admin in here.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then I think we have to go back and actually hear them for the application. They thought they had applied for an admin. We just looked at the file and brought it over, and it doesn't appear that it was an admin approval. And Sarah found it on the heard committee items from that agenda.
It's not. So why did we think was that?
Because it's closing at 12 and it's only beer and wine. and they've only been open 10 months. That's why we question if
I
it
wonder
was.
why it wasn't it.
That's what I don't know. That's,
You know what, you probably changed it at committee. It was probably something that changed at committee.
well, but it was heard from the beginning, it was on the agenda.
As
Oh, but
Yeah,
we-
it was on, when Michelle sent assignments, it was on.
But maybe it was later hours
Committee,
then.
And then
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was originally later hours of the committee. They asked them to move back to that. So,
And
okay.
what I would suggest if this happens in the future, you change it at the committee to administrative approval.
Okay, so we're gonna move back to the 245 Eldridge Street. I know Stacy, I think you were here, and then the applicants, please raise your hand. We're gonna promote you again. Okay, Stacy, so I think as you just heard, it was not, I'm not sure if you remember what happened when it came up. I was not on the committee at that point, so I'm not sure. It seems like it was not, it was heard at committee, it was not an admin approval, so therefore what I said earlier about you having that stipulation of not coming back within a year does not apply to you. So therefore, we can hear you. I don't know if you remember, were you asking for later hours originally? Was that changed at committee at all, or? Okay, so anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead, because we are gonna hear this now, I'm gonna move to the community members that signed up here to speak. I think one of them was you, can't stay. What? He'll be back. Okay. Okay, so we're going back to, I know there was, the applicant was here as well. Phone numbers.
Yeah, it's 301, right?
301 was the one on, yeah. So I gave the brief summary before, but.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So I think as you heard, this was not heard as an admin approval, so therefore you are not held to the 1 year requirement. So we can hear this and then we will make a decision on how we feel about your application. Because of that though, we heard from the applicant. We're now going to move back to the members of the public that are here to speak. So I have. Bob Crozier.
Did I sit here?
Yeah, if you want to take that, just so that people on Zoom can hear you.
Well, first off, I'd like you to all see, this is their signage. Welcome to the shit show. And that is a cock and balls that's on our sidewalk. This is who we're dealing with. These are our kids going by on Eldridge Street, if you didn't see this. It's every night, it's up and showing. The reason I'm here though is that I think you have a bigger problem, and that's a traffic problem, not a parking problem, but an emergency vehicle problem. Turns out that Eldridge Street is the only street between Hudson River and the East River that doesn't have a traffic light and a short block. And the short block from Eldridge to Allen is only 2 buses long. So the next one further west, the traffic light besides Allen is Forsyth Street. So all the traffic is backing up from Allen all the way back to Forsyth Street. And you have approved another really large bar on East Houston Street between Eldridge Street and Forsyth. So we got another big bar on the corner. We have 2 bars to the east of us, and then we have 6 bars on Eldridge Street. You're about to approve 7th one. That is an emergency problem. That has to be explored. One of these bars has to come to you because of emergency. Well, the perfect storm is going to happen. There's going to be a big fire and you can't get through because it's blocked. And we've had that before. Of course, we've all woken up with all the noise and all that sort of stuff. From Staten Street to Houston, it gridlocks. There's no way to cross the meridian. no light. So there's not a light or a way to cross the meridian. And that's an emergency. That's a different kind of problem than just us getting up and complaining about the noise. These are people's lives. So that's what I want you to be aware of. The only block between Hudson River and the East River like this, and there's never been a study like that. So I ask that the board do a moratorium on any bar that's coming up in our neighborhoods until that traffic study is done for emergency vehicles. Emergency vehicle egress study needs to be done on our block. So, and that's all I wanted to say. One other little piece of old news that happened today, as you know, we, the people, were sued personally by the Victoria and what is it called? That Victoria bar.
Yes.
We were personally sued. The block was sued. 6 of us were sued for $750,000. And just today, because we won the summary judgment, we went to for a referee today, because we could get over $10,000 that we, the community, paid to do our thing. We went today, and now we got to go back with another deposition. How much they don't. And personally sued. So just as a piece of clarification. Thank you.
So that is the same, it's a different.
It's on the same block and the same.
Okay.
So I'm asking for a moratorium.
Yeah.
On everything.
Okay, thank you, Bob. I'm gonna call next, I think I have Neil Rich.
I'm not saying nothing, right?
Yeah, we
All right,
can.
fine. My name's Neil Freeland. I've lived on 237 Eldridge Street for 35 years. I raised my kid there. I'm intimately aware of the block and bar. I bounced at Bob's for 20 years. So I worked the door at Bob's and I've worked doors my whole life. It's inconceivable to me on our little teeny block. Now, if you start at the corner, there's Sapphires, which is a full bar open 4 in the morning. Next to Sapphire is 247 Eldridge, which is applying for another full liquor license. Then comes 245, the first one. They're asking for a full liquor license. Next is Barboda, which is a full liquor license. This is a tiny little side street. It's not like Houston Street. This is insanity if you think that this block can handle the noise, the people. It's just summertime's coming up. And also, Spaghetti Incident got a full liquor license at the restaurant. Victoria has a full liquor. This is all on a tiny little sidewalk. That's number one. Number two, this restaurant definitely hasn't demonstrated anything to the community that followed what they said. They were supposed to serve food. They don't serve food. They had like fake sushi for a little while, but they don't serve, it's not a restaurant at all. And I'm even questioning whether their liquor choice is just beer and wine. I'm not exactly sure. And then they have, this is a S show. I'm not even gonna swear on this because that's ridiculous. So all in all, it violates the 500-foot rule clearly. I mean, there's no question about it. They've done nothing to integrate themselves into the community. They haven't put any benefit, like by serving food. We just opened up a new sushi, tiny little sushi spot. That doesn't serve alcohol, it's a restaurant, that's okay. But this is clearly not a restaurant. It's clearly, or it's no benefit. They haven't thought out what they're gonna do, and it just enhances the noise. I hear the noise all night long now. So what you really have to look at is, as a community board and as a community member, it's time to stop adding this type of business that ruins the quality of life for the people that live on the Lower East Side. And I'm a long-term resident. It's not like I've just moved here. I was a little kid, I lived on the Lower East Side. So I think you really have to look at what this means to the block, the community, and what you're saying as a board that you plan to do for the people who live there. Thank you very much.
You're just under your 2 minutes, so you're good.
Practice.
Okay, so that was Bob, and then I have Adrian.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I live at 235 Eldridge, apartment 3. It's Kenny corner to the bottom, right? my living room and my last room, I can hear music. In the apartment. So at night, maybe out there smoking cigarettes, because they're not supposed to, because that's the legal that came out about those smoking. My wife has heart problems and all this, too many bowels and all this, and pace and everything, and she's complaining about that she's not smoking. That's why I'm here, because I haven't. So, that's about it. That's except for all the noise at night that they make, especially when they're cleaning up. Oh, and they have a house there. You know, on the sheds.
Oh, the outdoor space,
I
yeah.
call sanitation, call 311, explain to them that the rats come in and out of that place, there is nothing to it. My wife says 2 o'clock in the morning when they all leave, the rats come out. By the bunches from the house. There's holes all over it. They said, no, they said he's coming home. And so they can make a rolling. They're not doing anything about it. So, you know, I mean, before I took pictures, I know what I did with them. So they were all anyway, so.
Okay, so I will just respond to just one quick question about the outdoor space. The rules have changed, and that's going to be changing over the next few months, and that some of that will probably be addressed. They're gonna either have to apply for the new program or remove their outdoor space. So that's not really the outdoor space, the shed outside.
Yeah, move that thing up.
No,
That's a first.
Yeah. That'll have to, that's gonna.
A long time ago, right?
Yeah, but now the law's changing.
Yeah,
They have to know.
that's something that's kind of outside of our purview in some ways, the cities, but that's changing, so that'll be addressed in some one way or another, just one.
If there are complaints about a place, you need to know before the application.
Yeah, so if you could let Susan,
If
if you
there
could,
are complaints,
I put in a complaint with the sanitation.
no, can I finish?
Yes.
If there are complaints, you need to let us know, the community board, because we don't see exactly the complaints you send to sanitation. You need to let us know, because the applications will be coming here, and when an application comes here, we're gonna look and say, is there an adverse history, have they had a problem, or are they not a problem?
So I tell you.
I'll give you my card, so if you have sanitation problems.
I had reported, that's sanitation, 311, I had reported.
So I'm asking you, if you report a sanitation problem, 311, and it doesn't get fixed, let us know. Because that's our job, that's our job.
okay. So is there anyone else here?
So that's our job. If you.
Is there anyone else here on Zoom that wishes to speak to the item 245 Eldridge Street? Please raise your Zoom hand. I know, Stacy, I know you and the applicant are here, but if there's anyone else here from the public that wants to speak to this item.
There's Jane B.
Okay, I see. Jane?
Hi.
Jane?
Hi. How
Hi,
are
Jane.
you?
Go ahead.
Good.
Hello?
Oh, is somebody else talking? Yeah, this is Harriet.
Harriet, are you here for 245 Bowery?
Eldridge.
Oh, sorry, 245 Eldridge. Harriet?
Just a.
Yes.
Are you here for 245 Eldridge?
No, I'm 103 XX Street.
Okay, so we're gonna move you back. We're gonna come to you later, okay? So Jane, I think you're here for 245 Eldridge, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Please go ahead.
So, just for context and to the annoyance of some of my neighbors who are in the room, I'm actually very pro bar and restaurant on this block. When Geo submitted a change in license for Spaghetti Incident, you guys read a wonderful letter from me. When Kenta for Goto changed his hours, I wrote a nice letter of support as well. I think what's key for someone like me is that everybody who opens up a business in the neighborhood feels like they're contributing to the neighborhood and to the betterment of the street and the residents who live there. And my issue with this bar in specific is that every action they've ever taken has been an action of deception, and that's including to you all. If you look on your phones at Google Maps and just do the graffito and look at the image search, you'll see that they advertise cocktails. They are a beer and wine establishment, so I don't know what they're using as the basis of their cocktails, but they're advertising cocktails. As my neighbors have also noted, they don't serve food. The only food that I've ever seen them serve is a waffle in the shape of a penis. It was meant to be a gag. I don't know if they are still serving it, but they do have like a sandwich board where they advertise it. And then the last thing that I just wanted to comment on, just because I'm going to assume the lawyer doesn't know versus lying, but they have stayed open several occasions past midnight. And that 311 call that you guys have at 12:30 a.m., if you were to get a record of that call, that would be my voice. I have pictures from that same day that I'm happy to email you all. They stayed open past 12. It was the second time they did it. I got annoyed since they had been open for less than a month. So I called 311 on them. So that's basically all I want to say. I want members of the community, small business owners who want to be part of our community. They clearly just want to make a buck at the expense of the neighbors.
Thank you, Jane. And I do remember when you spoke for the other items, and as a positive act, so I appreciate your coming tonight for that. So, okay. So anyone else here from the public on Zoom? If not, we're moving on. More spoke.
She should be up.
Oh, Margaret. Yes, Margaret. So you were here much earlier, but Margaret, go ahead and unmute yourself and speak. And if you could do your best not to repeat something someone else said, we're kind of ready to move on with the discussion, but we do want to hear you speak, Margaret. If you could unmute yourself and go ahead, Margaret, please. The mute should be in the lower corner of Zoom.
I see it. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Perfect. There you go.
Hi.
Thank you.
I'm Margaret Cho. I'm from 246 Eldridge Street. I've been living on the block for 18 years, and I strongly oppose this. I'm gonna be short and sweet for all the reasons that have been brought up by our residents. It's just I was supportive of Bargoto and Spaghetti Incident because they bring something to our block. And this is just another clubby bar that is loud, lewd, unruly, and late night. And so I strongly oppose it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for your brevity. So Stacy, I know you're the applicant. So I have a couple questions, and I'm going to let you respond to the questions I have, as well as what we've heard from the members of the public. It was brought up here, but I have seen online, they're advertising happy hours as part of their stipulations that they were approved previously in December 2022. They agreed to no happy hours.
Okay.
We also see on your menu, on your website, and on Yelp, you are serving cocktails. You are serving vodka. You are serving gin, martini, bourbon.
They're wine-based.
I remember Stacy saying that at the way.
So.
Oh, this is what I'm being told. I've never been there. So this is what I'm being told, that they're based on cocktails and that they're not alcoholic beverage, alcohol.
So we've been
wine-based.
And the SLA has said that advertising something listed as vodka, bourbon, and gin, and it's not specified as wine-based, is violating, it's in their terms, violating their stipulations because it's false advertising. So we've done this with other bars as well.
Okay, supposedly it's in the menu. It's on the menu that they sent you.
I'm looking at the menu. There are items, but there's a cocktail section.
Yeah, that's because that's what they're proposing for the, if they're going to get the license, that's why.
It's on your website.
Right, but it's wine-based.
But
That's what I'm being told. That's what I'm being told. If you look at the drink menu, it says,
that's just one point. We don't need to discuss it any further, actually.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I'm just letting you know what I'm being told, that it's not alcohol-based.
Happy hours, were not part of your original stipulations. You have advertised happy hours.
Okay.
There were some comments that I actually read earlier that sometimes lead me to believe that you may be open later than midnight because someone said they stopped on their way home from other bars. So I just think I have a lot of questions about how you're actually operating currently.
Okay.
And the fact that it's been 10 months in since you opened, we have 311 complaints, we're having this many concerns from residents.
Okay, may I say something about, some of the complaints are not legitimate because that outside area does not belong to my client. And that seems to be a big bone of contention for a lot of people. But that belongs to the Japanese restaurant next door.
Okay, well, that's fine, because we're not basing our thoughts on the outdoor space at this point. So that's fine, that was brought up, but that's okay. So.
Okay.
Specifically their operating hours, and they were originally just in response to I think one of you mentioned that it was operating basically, so they were only approved for a bar tavern. They weren't approved for a full service restaurant. It was a bar tavern.
That's right. Minimal food, right, that's right.
Minimal food from a prep area. So they weren't approved as a full service restaurant just in response to that comment. So they may be in line with their stipulations for that. I'll give them that.
So they're, I mean, I don't know about being closed at 12:30. If that happened, I assume that somebody said it happened. I'm not, gonna deny that, but I'm sure it's not an everyday occurrence. Their hours are till 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're gonna, because one time they were open till 12:30. I mean, they want to keep the hours. They'll keep the hours 5 to 12. They'll abide by the hours.
Okay.
5 to 12. And they are increasing their menu. I spoke to them about that a little bit more food. Can you unmute her?
We can't unmute. They have to unmute themselves.
Okay. She's trying to unmute.
Can I say?
At the bottom of this, she's on the telephone. Are you on? Hold on. I think she's on the telephone. She's on the telephone. I think that's the problem.
I think it's, I forget your name, but it's *6 on your phone will unmute yourself on Zoom.
All right, let me tell her *6.
You're hearing these people currently are serving full liquor without a license. And
Hi, can you hear me now?
You're hearing.
Yes, I can hear you.
That is in.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I didn't know why it wasn't unmuted.
She was trying to say, she was trying to talk.
I would like to say like a few lines on it. First, all the cocktails that we have a little menu. Like when you go into Graffito, you see a menu, and on the bottom of the menu it says all cocktails are distilled from wine. So it's less than 50% of the alcohol because we buy all these liquor from the spirits. So all the spirits are based and like I made for cocktails for only places that sell like liquor, beer and wine license. So we buy all this liquor from that vendor, and it's all spirits. It says on the menu, it says all cocktails are based on wine. It says on the bottom of the menu. Second, we, with the comment that somebody say about the peanuts or things like that, it was only one time that we want to encourage the gay community. So we want to have these waffles only for that moment, only for that period of the time. It was only one time, that's it. The 3 a.m. call that she received, it may be when the guy was like deep cleaning or something like that. Maybe he wasn't like with the music and he wasn't doing like a deep cleaning. He does a deep cleaning like I think twice a month or 3 times a month. That's it. But the place is only open until 11 right now because we don't have people. So that is not true. That we open, that they can call, maybe somebody else, maybe it's the bar next door that she's getting like nosy, but it's not for sure. We want to include more food. That's why we feel like we're gonna do sushi. We were doing sushi, but because the people ask, oh, is this cocktails based on wine? So we don't want it, and then that's why we don't get people. So we start the sushi menu, but we had like
like a list, like at the sushi, we start doing sushi as well.
Yeah, so I think, Michelle was your name, correct? Michelle?
Geraldine.
Geraldine, I apologize for that.
Geraldine, yes.
Geraldine, so we
No,
we
no,
got
it's okay, no worries.
the wine-based cocktails. So is there anything else you wanted to respond to? And you also mentioned the hours that you're not open past 11, and maybe it was the cleaning person. We get that too. Is there anything else you want to respond to this at the moment?
What about, yeah, let me ask her a question. What about the happy hour? You're not supposed to have happy hour right now. Geraldine?
Okay, then maybe we may, yes, we mentioned happy hour. It was like starting like maybe a week ago. We only mentioned one time. It's not in the menu. We only did it for one time. My apologies. We just did it just maybe because of the business volume, but it was only one time. It's not like we advertising like it's full time, like Monday, Tuesday to Sunday or something like that. No, because we open only 3 days. The only thing that we want is to make money, and that we cannot do happy hour for these only 3 days that we are open.
I understand.
So we only did it one time. That's it.
Yes, you've tried several things. I
told
things to make money because you haven't been having a lot of business. I understand that. Anything else quickly, because we're going to move to committee discussion.
I mean, if there's a problem with their signage, they'll change the signage.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
So
yes,
right-
I can take it out. I can take it out today if you want. Like, I don't mind. Like, we just don't want to do it for fun. Like, we think like it was cool, but if the neighbor is not okay with that, that's fine. We can just take it out. That's fine.
They'll take it out.
Thank you, Geraldine. Okay, so I think we're going to move on to committee discussion now. So thank you for everything you've had to say. So we can take a little straw poll. We can just, so my initial thoughts are, they've only been open for 10 months. They have 3-1 complaints. Whether or not it's alcohol or wine-based, she says it's wine-based. There's some confusion about that. They've had happy hours. She admitted that they've possibly been open later once or twice.
No, she didn't admit that.
She did say that, she said that they were open at least one time, possibly later there was something there. She did say that, I think. So regardless, my thoughts on this is, it's only been open 10 months. She seems very unclear. I know she said they're not making money. They're only open 3 days a week. There's a lot of red flags here for me. And I am not comfortable approving this for an upgrade when there's so many uncertainties and so many things that just aren't in line.
But I think, sorry to interrupt, but I think the thing that you're getting like.
Amanda called.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've already cut out their discussions. That's just, so.
That means we have to vote now.
That wasn't what I was raising.
Yeah.
What I was raising my hand for was to say, the menu on the website where it says bourbon, vodka, all that, I don't see anything that says.
No,
plant-based.
there's not. We looked.
So at the very, very least, it's
False advertising.
very false.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I'm not comfortable with any of this. I was going to do a quick straw poll to see where we stand on this. Is everyone comfortable with, I'm prepared to make a motion for a full denial.
I'm comfortable with that.
Michael?
I'm actually comfortable. I'd also like to refer the matter to the SLA.
We would actually do that. We would send a letter requesting the SLA to do an investigation to find out if they're actually serving alcohol as opposed to wine.
Okay, you know what? We'll withdraw the application at this time and we'll resubmit it after the year. And hopefully by then we'll have everything cleared up and there won't be any issues where there'll be something with the menu and the menu will reflect the wine-based. They'll take down the signage. And
I understand, like, you know, like you say, like the noise and things like that, but about the signage, about the waffle machine, about those things, it's not just to have fun of the people. It's not like we are doing supposed to bother the neighbor, you know? I understand you have this kind of things, but we can fix it. It's things that you can fix.
Thank you.
So Stacy, you withdrawn the item. I know you said you're going to come back after a year. After what you've heard tonight, I would just, if I were you, I would think carefully about that, and you really need to show a pattern of more consistent operation before I would be comfortable with.
Well, I have to tell you though, I don't see where the 311 calls came in for that particular place. They're talking about noise, and they're talking about a place that possibly was open a little later, but she said that they were doing cleaning in the place, so that could have been a possibility. You know, and the way you make it sound like it's you know, I mean, like a dive. It's not a dive. It's a place.
Stacy, I was a small business owner, and they do not appear to have a business plan that's functioning.
So that item has been withdrawn. They may be back again at a later point, but please watch the agendas and.
Just because you mentioned it going to the SLA, could we also ask the SLA about the traffic study for emergencies? That's for real.
The SLA has
saying, you know, those guys. That's us doing that.
Well, the SLA doesn't concern, that's out of their.
That's the transportation committee, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what about the sign? Can the SLA have us take down that sign?
I don't know, that's.
Just go on the website and.
You can file a complaint and there's.
She said she's gonna take it down.
Yeah, it's in poor taste, but I don't know if the SLA.
Go on the
monitors
website
models.
and make your complaints. If you feel it bothers you with your neighbor.
Yeah.
Go on the website.
So thank you.
Yep. Thanks for showing up.
Okay, so. We are going to move on to. What?
243 Bowery.
243 Bowery, 243 Bowery.
That's eight, but she's here for that.
14A Orchard.
14A Orchard. Are you here for another item, Frank?
For me,
Oh, you're good, okay.
me.
Oh, for you, okay.
Yeah.
Me too. Right.
And then how many people are online about that? 20. Oh,
I think we were 3 on that.
I don't see any there, so I'm just gonna start. Okay. So we're gonna kind of switch back to, I think those were the two most contentious items, I'm hoping. We're gonna move on to item number 4, which is Carlotta, 14A Orchard Street. The applicant's here online.
Sorry.
Oh, you're the applicant, okay, sorry. Okay, so the applicant is here in person, Frank's representation is here in person. Let me just get up the item, I'm gonna give a quick summary. Okay. Dolce Ranger LLC, doing business as Carlotta, is seeking a full on-premises license for the premises located at 14A Orchard Street between Canal and Hester. It's an application for an establishment of 74 people, 7 tables, 23 seats, 1 18-foot bar with, and I don't think it was on the application how many seats at the bar, do you know what I'm saying?
6.
With 6 seats.
Yeah, it's not 74.
It's less than 74, but it's
44.
It's a Eleanor, right?
What's that?
Let me know, Jack.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Let's see. And we had 8 parcels.
Okay. Oh, 8?
No,
There's
actually
6
actually 5.
5, okay.
It says 8 on the app, but it's fine.
5, okay. Spanish tapas prepared in a full kitchen and food prep area, serving food during all hours with recorded music at background level. There are 19 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. The applicant has been licensed at the current location since 2023 and licensed the location next door since 2012. We haven't received any support or opposition to this item so far. 17 residents who live within 2 blocks signed a petition in favor. And they're proposing hours, I think, of 10 a.m. all days, closing by 12 a.m. Oh, sorry, opening 10 a.m., closing by 12 a.m. Sunday through Wednesdays, and by 1 a.m. Thursdays through Saturdays. Okay, I'm gonna move to the applicants and his attorney. Is there anything that I said or anything you would like to add?
No, I know, the initial meeting, which I don't have the exact date, when it was formally beer and wine, we had gone full, there was a stipulation just to be, but the sentiment of that meeting was because we're the owners of Bar Valley, which is next door for 12 years. Which there have been people, I was surprised at that meeting because we are super open with all the tenants. I have text from the neighbors, and there's some people that still, even after last year, all they need to do is come in, tell me what the problem is, and we respond. So I'm not quite sure what's going to be said.
Okay, but his summary is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Frank, you have anything to add?
No.
Great. Is there anyone here from the public on Zoom? Please raise your Zoom hand. I know there was someone earlier that mentioned they were here to speak for this item, so. Okay, Harriet is Harriet is she part of your application?
No.
Harriet was listed on one of the applications, sorry about that. Okay.
Her name is May.
Okay, yeah, she's on there. So, okay, so I'm gonna just start calling. I see first on the list, it looks like Harriet. Harriet, go ahead and unmute yourself and speak. We're gonna give you 2 minutes, but if you could be brief, that would.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Harry Lowe.
Go ahead.
Well, what is your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, my address. Yeah, my address is 103 XX Street, New York.
You're not for this item. Sorry about that. We're still hearing 14B Orchard Street, so we're gonna call on you later. So we're gonna, so May, go ahead and.
Sorry, I think she was giving her address.
Oh.
Please don't do that.
Oh, okay, bring her
Was
back.
she giving her address? Did I miss?
I think she was, it sounded like she was giving her.
Because
address.
that's
I'm
not
sorry,
that's not an application.
So then that's not, yeah, so. Okay, Harriet, I'm sorry that we cut you off. Could you please unmute yourself? Are you here for 14B?
14A.
I'm sorry, 14A Dolce Ranger, which is doing business as Carlotta? You can unmute yourself again, Harriet.
No, my address is 103 XX Street.
103 Essex, or you live at 103 Essex?
Yeah, 103. What is your question? I'm sorry.
You're here for the other item, so we're gonna come back to you later. I'm sorry for that confusion. So,
Okay, all right.
you're the applicant. I thought there was an applicant named Harriet, so we're gonna go with
Yeah,
May.
Hello?
May Zhang, please go ahead and unmute yourself and speak for 14A Orchard Street. May, please unmute yourself. It's on the lower left-hand side of the screen, it should be.
Okay, can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you now. Go ahead, May, please.
Okay, I'm sorry, yes. Hi, my name's Mei Zhang. I'm an owner of the unit, one of the unit upstairs. And we have been many times issue with noisy and with the garbage messy in front of the building entrance door. And then also the table, sometimes, the outside the table and just move, it's like a kind of block our entrance. So I was wondering to ask the business owner, I don't know the name called Tommy or Tavin?
He's here, but please go ahead and speak and we'll let him respond after you're done.
Okay, so how they gonna handling for that issues?
Okay, so how is he handling the noise, the garbage, and the tables outside? Blocking the entrance, so. What we're gonna do, May, do you have anything else to add?
Actually, we have more than 15, I think so more than, I cannot see the exactly, but more than 15 unit owner on the line tonight. We really concerning about the noisy and kind of the garbage messy and the three things. That's why issue. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, May.
Thank you. Yeah.
We'll have the owner address that, but we're gonna hear from the other members of the public first, and we're gonna address them all at once. So next, I see Marcel. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, Marcel, and please speak.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hold on. So, hi, I'm Marcel. Clint, I don't think you were around when we did the initial meeting for the application for for beer and wine. That was early 2021. And there was a lot of issues ongoing with Tommy, who's there today. I personally live right above his current establishment and like overlaps a little bit into Carlota. You know, the issues were outrageous back then. And we've tried many different things. We did take the option to basically not so much rely on 311, unfortunately, because 311, as you guys know, the neighborhood has exploded since the initial meeting in 2021. And 311 basically told us, hey, if it's not an emergency, you know, the complaints get closed immediately. We would call 3 times a day and these complaints will get closed the minute you hung up the phone, literally. So we took the option and they were willing to cooperate with us to create a chat, which includes myself, his 2 managers and himself, and my fellow neighbor across, which we are the people that get the most affected, including 2 other people, but they don't speak any English. So we basically take the responsibility to complain and call them and message them. They reply pretty much right away, but it gets fixed. But again, it goes back again and again and the next day and like throughout the night multiple times. And it's great that there's a cooperation, which is interesting. I'm kind of surprised. We complained over a week ago, not the other weekend because I was out of town. And we communicated with him about the noise, and you know, they never mentioned that there was a meeting today. That's why I did not write in. I was not aware. I thought since we were like the previous meeting was about communication and outreach to the neighbors, outreach in Chinese, because most of the building, even though it's changed a tad, most of the building is non-English speaking. There was a conversation about that, and that was not done. And, you know, even though we have this text going, in the text, I have been adamant over and over again. Can we cap this sound? What do we do about capping the sound? Always gets overlooked. Finally, about a week ago, I brought it up again, and his manager or his partner said, oh, it'll be Monday. My sound person is coming. Never heard again anything about it. But as you guys know, we have incredible amount of other bars around. We have not even discussed not just the issue of the sound levels, which have gotten, like when we call and message and complain, if I could show you a transcript of these messages, it's not just the noise, it's the position of the speakers, it's the bass, it's the treble, you know, and I'm not even gonna, I don't even have time to get to the crowds outside. So I'm not even gonna discuss that, because obviously people could say that's an overlap because the block has exploded. We live at the eye of the storm of Dime Square, and everybody knows that, you know. I'm happy to maintain this like, you know, amicable communication with the establishment, and I have done so. I find it very interesting that they did not communicate with me, because they call me and message me when they have other concerns about the building, about leaks, about not being able to communicate with the super who does not speak any English. I have used translate apps. I am not fluent in Mandarin. I have communicated with my other neighbors upstairs that are bilingual to communicate, and obviously here we are. The application is being resubmitted. I'll wrap this up.
You're coming. Your 2 minutes are up. So go ahead
Can I
and please.
just say one quick thing? They've just been operating since July 6, 2023. Even though they got the bar and wine in 2021, they never were open. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Marcel, have you complained to the community board?
I have not. I have taken so many different options, but Susan's aware with the situation with Barbelli. It's ongoing, but other people have, and Lynn is here. Hopefully she's here and able to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yes. So we have some more people. We have several other people that want to speak to this item. I guess I wasn't aware there was this many earlier, but please, if you could keep, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, but if you could kind of not repeat some things that are said. We've heard a lot of this. We do have a lot of other items to get through tonight. Please go ahead, Tamara.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief. First of all, I want to say that I'm here for the Orchard Street Block Association. We received no outreach from the Barbelli owners regarding this new upgrade that they want. The residents in the building directly above were not contacted. I know because they came to me about this meeting. You guys already know very well that the area is super oversaturated. This is not an operator that cares for the community, the residents. It's quite obvious, you know that. He shouldn't be granted this. There's also no need for it in the community. Also, I noticed the signatures in support. Hardly any of them are local residents. One was even listing the cafe Chinatown Soup as the address, residence address. And so other people were listed in Bushwick. There was maybe like 3 people that were in the immediate vicinity on the petition. So you should probably check into that. But basically also no signage is on there about what they're doing in Mandarin or Cantonese, knowing that the people that live right above are mostly Mandarin and Cantonese speakers and have issues speaking English. I just think it really speaks to a lot of what's going on with this operator. They have a very long history of being a problem on the block in the neighborhood, and now that neighborhood is more of a problem than ever for people to work at home, get their rest, and have their families not be disturbed. And I think it's really important to understand that with the changing needs of the neighborhood, maybe the community board needs to step up for the residents more rather than the businesses who they don't need it. They can continue to operate as they have been and disregarding everyone else's rights in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. You've hit you just under 2 minutes. Thank you, Tamara. Next we have Hang. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Hangzi.
No, you got it right. You got it. It's Hang. I'll make it quick as well, just given that everyone has already spoken a lot of the same topics that I want to touch on. I'm also a resident here at 14 Orchard Street. I've been there for over 20 years. It's definitely a childhood place that I've grown up, and I've seen the area has changed a lot. One of my main concerns is more so about like the attraction of intoxicated customers at the establishment, given that they already have a bar downstairs already. Just the screaming and yelling from customers, especially during the nights in the summer, that's quite a lot. There's also, it also attracts a lot of customers to smoke outside since they do have an outdoor space for their customers. There is a sign that says not to smoke, but it's not always respected or contained. And given that I'm also living above the restaurant as well, or the tavern, people do stand in front of the door and that smoke goes directly up to me. So it's not really a fun place to be, and also to be inhaling secondhand smoke, which we know that it could be very distressing. One big thing that everyone also May has talked about is limited sidewalk space. This has definitely worsened the congestion, and it also compromises pedestrian safety. We do have a few elderly residents in the building who uses walkers. The tables are all over the sidewalk. They also have an enclosed space kind of in the street, I guess on the parking space. So they have that space, and they also have tables on the sidewalks, which also creates a small and narrow single walkway, which is very hard to get through, especially if they have their waiters kind of taking orders. We have to wait, or if people are coming by, we all have to wait and just get bottlenecked in that area just to go home. So, I was just reviewing kind of some of the open restaurants because I did see on the application that they did check that off. Just given some of the items that they have right now, the current roadway cafe, it's pretty close to a fire hydrant. I believe it has to be 15 feet as well, and it has to have a certain amount of walkway on the sidewalk, which is not what they're getting right now.
Can you reach your 2 minutes if you can make your last final?
Yep, and that's really about it. That was the last item that I wanted to add.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, we have, how many more do we have?
We already heard from many, so just Lynn.
Okay, so we have one more. So Lynn, go ahead and, you unmute yourself. Go ahead and speak, Lynn, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can, go ahead.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Lynn. I just want to keep it short as well because everyone, in my neighborhood only like cover what I wanted to mention. But I just want to raise my voice as well that I'm absolutely strongly oppose this application. And Marshall, my neighbor, I'm across from him. I live above the bar, and only Marshall and I directly communicate with Tommy. And I would say that I would never, he would never keep his word. Like I have the long history of all the text messages from even before COVID, that he kept promising us that he's going to do something with the soundproofing, which just never happened. And I constantly reported to 311, even those that I know is, it's even those until today, like every night. I'm still not every night, but like mostly it's like Friday, Saturday is the most, like noisy, and because I'm like right above his clubbing. It's not even restaurant or bar, it's like a clubbing at night with like loud music, with shaking my whole floor. And then my kid and we couldn't sleep. And we, and it's really like a huge impact in, I feel like I have no quality of life, of sleep. And then I have to work the next morning. So it's just, it's very frustrating. So even though that I know this application is for the next door, it's for the new entity, but it's still running by the same group of people, which bring nothing to the neighborhood. So I am just, just want to say I'm strongly opposed to this application. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lynn. And I think that was the last person. So we're going to give the applicant a chance to respond to those issues. And just so you know, I didn't mention this in the list, but you have 52 non-crime corrected 311 calls in the last 2 years.
For Barbelly.
For the place next door.
So I did 14. I didn't even do A or B. I did 14.
Well, that could be the building too, because it's 1416 Orchard Street. So that's very misleading. But we ran some that, I didn't see anything. So regardless, you want me to answer?
We did 14A in Denver.
Because it probably isn't listed as 14A. On 311. I don't see that.
I thought it was 14A. Oh, I didn't do it myself.
They don't show it.
So that would be why you didn't find any, because I do believe that these residents have called 311, and if you found 0.
But I just need to understand that the people complaining about Carlotta or the place next door.
Most, I mean, it would be the place next door.
Well, I want to hear from I know.
So it just listed as 14.
No, I'm asking people who just expressed their concerns. They're complaining about Barbell.
Most of them were complaining about Barbelly, I think.
All
of them.
Yeah. And that's what happened first time around. But
Susan, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just searched the complaints and for 14. And the last complaint I had was 3 years ago, and it was Barbelly.
In 311?
No.
Oh,
for the
complaints to the
office.
community board, yes.
Yes, so they do know, I mean, it's the same people that are sent it to me 3 years ago. So they do know that they should be complaining to the board, but when they did, it says Barbelly.
Yeah. And I mean, most of these are probably from Barbelly. I'm not disputing that.
Right.
Because you haven't been open that long in the space next door. But I think what their point is here, that it's the same owner, same operator.
Right.
It factors in.
Okay. So may I answer those?
Please go ahead.
Regarding the music, which they have a text, and Lynn has direct text, myself, our other partner, and our GM, which I had told them that one of these pieces of equipment went haywire, which in the text here, I have a text from all of them in December, and the next round was 2 months later. That's when this whole thing went haywire. This is where he's saying about technician, it's installed, it's what controls the base. We have put soundproof in there. We're extremely sensitive. Well, the one thing though I do take exception to is about the community. Barbelly 2 weeks ago, clothing drive, which I personally took all the clothes to the dry cleaning drive, went to the laundromat, 18 bags of jackets, then for our team to bring them to Thompson Square Park to deliver them. So we are very cognizant of input. As far as garbage in the door, never in the history have I ever seen garbage. The smoking sign, we do the best it's there. Our security is very aware of it. And we have fixed that because we had heard this the first meeting, which I left anybody comes in and tells me there's an issue, we take care of it. Myself and my other partner are there 7 days a week. 7 days, which we are active. I'm a New York City resident my whole life. The community is extremely important to me. And when I hear these war stories that are happening around, I'm like shocked. And I'm not trying to say, hey, two wrongs don't make a right here, but we are super sensitive.
And none of them has come to me since that last meeting. All they have to do is walk in and say, now we're, we got penalized for that, and we're still trying to get penalized. Anyway, it's for a topless restaurant. Regardless of whether you get it or not, we're gonna still have the same way we have been. Speaking of which, Palm Beach Bar has never been a fight in the bar. It is not one of these clubs. The cocktail bar, and yes, Friday and Saturday, it gets out of hand, and the neighborhood has gotten out of hand because it's Dime Square. I have people coming from all over the cities, throwing glow sticks on their heads. No, you cannot come in here. It's just out of hand. People know where they are now, and they're not wrong in their assessment of the neighborhood. But I don't feel like Carlotta, a topless restaurant that I could barely get 10 people in on Tuesday night, it should be penalized for that. We're not changing our hours. And I don't know what else I can answer with both the questions.
Plus, I agree with what Susan said before. There's almost no difference between wine and beer lit in the method of operation. You're still talking about a place that's closing at 12 noon.
So my response to that is, and I to a point, I do understand and I agree with that, and sometimes there's not a difference in wine and beer. However, my take on this is, a full liquor license is a privilege. It's not necessarily a right. So I'm not always comfortable rewarding someone with a full liquor license if they haven't been operating as the best neighbor. And I understand what you say, that you're trying, but even.
No, I'm not actually doing, I'm not trying.
But even to your own admission, that some of the problems seem to, you said on Friday and Saturday it gets out of control.
I didn't say that.
You did.
I said it gets elevated, animated more. I didn't say out of control. We control it so it doesn't. And and speaking of which, we have a 4 AM license. We are done by 2:30. There's nothing good that happens after that. And if we could switch it back, I would go back earlier and close by midnight. I don't even want that.
Well, you can always close earlier.
Sure.
You should.
The point which you just mentioned is, again, I am here, I blow the
And
cigarettes
they've all mentioned.
No, they don't
your
say
fault.
those things, but because they're against us, but they don't see me at my age blowing cigarettes every day, not just Friday and Saturday, and not just me, the buildings next to me and across the street. Again, our neighborhood, our community.
This application is for Carlotta.
Yes,
Which.
but we do take the applicant's history into consideration.
Understood, but it shouldn't be the overriding.
When it's right next door, I feel that that's more powerful than, if it was an application and, they were in a different neighborhood or blocks away, but when it is right next door, it could then just become more of a combined issue, is my own.
I'm not sure that's how the authority's gonna look at it, but I respect it.
It's food, right? It's a restaurant versus a cocktail bar. It is just a whole different guest, which actually I'm learning. It is a different guest. I have to use YouTube, come in for an hour and a half. It is not where you pop into Bar Valley and have a shot and walk out, go somewhere else. You need to be sitting there and use sangria, older people.
But just a question, and I know you said these are for Bar Valley, not for Carlotta, but I mean, there's 52, and that's just non-crime corrected. That means the police showed up and took action.
From what is it, from
311 calls.
From the history or what period of time?
It's from the beginning of 2022 to now, so 2 years, which we usually consider 3. I only went back 2 years. You have 52, which is an extremely large number for most places that we've heard.
And what are
It's for noise. So when I say non-crime corrected, that means the police showed up. They didn't fine you, they didn't cite you, but they showed up and there was an issue so they're saying that and there were a lot of other ones in there that the police took no action. So there's various levels, but this is saying non-crime corrected, which means the police showed up and that whatever the call was about, which was noise, that they took action to address the issue. 52 times.
Turn the music.
Sure.
Or get rid of the lights or something like that.
So there's 52 of those calls just in the past 2 years. And I know they haven't worked with Susan, but it's not just random 311 calls. The police actually did show up and documented that the problem existed.
Right, and I don't know what you had in the last 6 months. I don't know what happened.
I mean, there was one as early as, actually it was 2, it was the 3rd, I think. The last of March. The 3rd, the 2nd, there was a non-crime corrected call.
But you don't know what that is.
It's just for noise.
It's noise.
It's a
Club
sport,
bar restaurant?
It's commercial.
it's
noise.
commercial noise.
Commercial.
Yes,
Commercial noise.
commercial
No,
noise.
it's not a club bar restaurant.
It's,
But it's
NYPD
commercial.
commercial
They would
noise.
just,
I heard. Just.
and so the last two was the 3rd and the
Yeah.
2nd of March, and then there was the 27th of January, the 18th of January.
Nothing in February.
Nothing in February, I'll say that.
It's cold.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not that.
I mean, we could sit here and analyze that, but I mean, I'm sitting in front of you, they're over there, wherein lies the truth? I don't know.
Well, but what I'm saying, the truth is,
I am not these places that you're.
but the police document, that's what I'm saying the truth is. This isn't hearsay from the residents.
You're taking that item and dissecting it to pieces versus the
Well,
monsters that are here.
No, because,
No.
because we don't usually get 52 is a very large number.
Well, if you want to, let's.
Do you-
So I actually looked through those 52.
I mean, I can send them.
Well,
But here's my question. Do you attend the police precinct council meetings?
yes, we do.
And are there ever any issues brought up there?
No, and there appears and there's
They
some,
don't do that.
there is someone, I can sit here and tell you, her name was, doesn't matter, lived across the street. It would be 5 times that, this person, she has since moved. I offered to buy her an air conditioner, whatever, she dropped one out of the roof.
So you don't, I mean, I guess the answer is you don't really have an explanation for those calls.
If we're gonna have this meeting about that, I'd like to be prepared to talk about them, but I'm not really.
But do you have,
Yes,
do you know the police ever showing up?
can I say,
Sure.
you can go on open data. You can look at the
Uh,
dates, you
sure,
can look at
but that
the
will
dates, you
change.
can look at the time, and
Absolutely.
you can look at what the police said. So.
So I guess my question just was, do you know the police showing up?
I'm sure if it says it may be the case, I'm not there 24/7, but I'm also gonna say one last thing to that one, China Soup, which is next door to us. They have, it's an art gallery, they have people spilling on the streets, which so many times we're gonna get blamed for that situation. And they're not supposed to have beer and wine out there, they do have it, and then the whole street has become like a hood, people, just Saturday night, 3 guys with a boombox and a barbecue, just start grilling them, and blasting off at 11:30.
Can I say, the
Yes.
number of complaints you have
Yeah,
is unique for the neighborhood. We have, with all the complaints we have,
sure,
52 that the police showed up for, not 52,
yeah.
but 52 that the police showed up for. This is incredibly unusual. And we deal with the 5th precinct, not on this because the residents for some reason are not calling us, and I would say they should, because when we start getting applications for open dining, we're gonna look at places that have an adverse history. And if you're not telling us there's an adverse history,
This is
we
just
don't know.
14. This is just
So what I'm
14.
telling you,
Sure.
we cannot
Because it
excuse
doesn't-
it.
No, I'm not trying to, I am not
Yes, you
trying.
are, yes, you are, you're saying it's people over here, it's this
No,
or
no,
that.
no, no, I'll take ownership of it.
So can I suggest that you might,
I'll take ownership of it, and you're.
Clint,
Yeah.
can I suggest that maybe they want to take care of the problem and
You're
come back in 6
stipulating
months?
against another restaurant there,
Does
right,
it-
that's.
You know, so the SLA does look at your history, it's next door, it's next
So
door.
this is what's before, you. If you're going to deny based on Barbell, then so be it.
That's a B and A.
I didn't suggest that they deny, I'm suggesting that you guys might want to reconsider, just prove yourself in 6 months.
I don't know what to tell you, like I said, I know I'm comfortable to say, listen. we
Well,
have
But, so wait, I have another,
Sure.
I have one other thing to add to this. Along the lines of what Susan is saying,
Yeah,
I mean, you've been open less than a year.
it's almost a year.
Yeah.
Which,
So I know you aren't an admin approval, so you don't have that stipulation that you heard earlier, but normally we like to see at least a year of operation, and you've been operating through these winter months too, before we would be willing to go for an
you
upgrade.
have not heard anything about Carlotta, though, that's what you're mixing the two.
No, I know, but you also, if you open last July,
SLA doesn't.
we haven't had a full year of seasons to see how you really are gonna operate. Is it something you'd be willing to come back in 6 months or 4, some period of time to, one, show that you
4 months.
heard us, but also just give us a longer time period, at least a year, to see your operations of Carlotta and say,
Well,
it hasn't been a problem.
For sure, by April, 3 months from now is you know, over a year, but I think 3 would be fair.
When did you actually open?
Well, we were doing testing and there were guests coming in that wasn't advertised to the public. So we've been going, I don't have an exact date, but it was May of.
I actually think it's a pretty good idea to have them do it.
What's that?
I think it's a pretty good idea to come back and do it.
I'm happy to do that,
I think it's a reasonable
but
suggestion.
I need to know, because this is all based on bar. Because this is what's great.
If that, it's a large, it's not all, but it's, I would say for me, it's a fairly large consideration for me because you are next door, so those businesses are gonna affect each other.
You're being a good neighbor.
So I'll do this, I'll withdraw.
Okay.
And re-notify in May for June.
Send us an email saying.
And come back in June. I think that's,
What? No,
I think that's, I think that's a good.
I'll send you an email also.
And just, I mean, I know it's hard to control, but if you can even try to rein you through phone calls between now and then on Bar Belly, that would go a long way for us.
Yeah, I thank you all for your service.
Thank you.
And I'm asking the residents, please let the community board know, because we do consider history, adverse
Thank
history
you.
that comes to us. And if we don't hear anything in 3 years, last time we heard was middle of COVID, we're assuming things are better.
And I know it's frustrating making calls to 311, to the SLA, to the city, to Susan, and I know it's a burden on you, but if you can at least try, that would be very helpful.
We
to
can
us.
send an email as well, right?
Just don't call, send an email.
Send an email, right, send an email.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Okay, so looks like next in line, we have.
This one? Do I get the manager?
Sure, since you're here, yeah, you were here for Bauer, right?
Yeah.
210, sorry.
243.
243 Bowery. Okay, so are any residents here for 243 Bowery? Please raise your Zoom hand. Some. You might luck out. Some regulars that I thought might show up, but maybe you've already.
We've been nice.
Okay, good.
Over front.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to go?
Sure. Right, Susan, you're allowed.
Susan,
I won't have a speech.
Well, let's vote on it, let's vote on it.
As a matter of fact, okay, so I don't see any members of the public here, so that's fine. So I'm gonna give, as you heard, I'm gonna give a brief summary. Do you want to run out and get, you want to run out and get a hot chocolate?
No, I was just wondering if it was allowed.
I mean, I think you're allowed. I would allow you. Okay, sorry, let me just get this open. Here we go.
Yeah, it's in my seat.
Okay. Banana Brownie LLC is doing business as LES, is seeking a full on-premises license for the premises at 243 Bowery between Prince and Stanton Street. This is an application for an establishment of up to 72 people, 12 tables, 72 seats. How long is your bar?
24 feet.
24 feet, with a 24-foot bar. Bar, thank you. 30, 10. Food prep area, no full kitchen, serving ice cream, desserts, and other small dishes during all hours of operation. No televisions, ambient background music from small speakers. There are 14 full on-premises licensed within 500 feet. This location is previously not licensed and housed an art gallery. The principal, Courtney Bond, has worked in the nightlife and hospitality industry for over 20 years. She's been the bar owner operator of a food and liquor serving establishment since 2016. She operates 2 ice cream speakeasy cocktail bars on the Upper East Side, an establishment located at 207 Bowery that will open in the spring of 2024.
Yes, you remember me.
That's
You should.
You should.
You learned about the burnout, like, I've been down over the past 6 months, I can't get my hair done. It's me, guys. It's me.
Yep, okay, so, this application, we did receive a letter from the Detective in Manhattan's 19th precinct, assessing your status as a community partner and a valued member of the community for 15 years. 54 residents who live within the 2 blocks signed a petition in favor. Okay. So, and their hours they were proposing are 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, closing at 5 p.m. opening Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. Fridays through Sundays, and closing at 1 a.m. Sunday through Wednesdays, and 2 a.m. Thursdays, 4 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. Okay. is there anything in my brief summary that needs to be corrected or added to?
It's nice to see you all again, Sarah,
No.
Amanda, Clint, Susan. It's not the same without your gingerbread cake, I'm gonna tell you. John, Michael, nice to see you for the first time. This, I have to apologize in advance, you guys know I speak quickly, so I'm gonna get to it. This is also a very spicy meeting, I never thought I would hear a penis waffle at a community board meeting, but like, how fun. So, and excuse me, I didn't make it uptown, I've been in, you guys know, like, I never thought I would be here. I don't even have my license that you guys just approved yet. I'm like in crazy devil, and I'm not one to air like personal shit, but I have to tell you the actual story is why I'm here 5 seconds later asking for another liquor license. 4 weeks ago, my landlord at UES, I've been operating for 7 years on the Upper East Side, UES, my ice cream shop Speakeasy. I've lived on the Upper East Side for 15 years. Everyone knows that story. I opened it because we didn't have cocktail bars, we didn't have ice cream. Blah, blah, blah. My landlord calls me, he tells me that he got a quad license tenant, and he's kicking me out of UES, and I'm like.
Cannabis license for those that
Yeah. I know you guys know, and I know too, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I have 3 years left on my lease. He said, if you don't leave and you have 2 months to get out, I will sue you for COVID background. I was closed obviously in March of 2020 until February 2021, when we were all forced to be closed, and that landlord at the time, we worked it out. I served ice cream, I made, $500 a day. I gave him $100, whatever I could, and it was one of these shake hand agreements as if it's okay, we get it. I've been a tenant there for 7 years. My other club is with him, my apartment, everything. And I'm like, are you kidding? And so this has just been, I'm like, can you give me 6 months? Can I just get Champagne Problems open before like I have a place to absorb my staff community? Because you guys know that this is a real thing, that these landlords are actually winning for this background. My neighbor, he got 215 PPP, gave it to the landlord, and he still got sued for $500,000 in background. He's selling insurance upstate right now. So this is really real. All the lawyers, even when I call Frank, he's like, why are you calling me? What could you possibly want? And I'm like, you're not gonna believe this. So in the interim, I bought my kitchen equipment from the Barry family across the street. So Richie Barry, you guys know, owns 243, 241. And he's like, well, I have this art gallery, because I just kind of told him what the situation was. We've become friendly, obviously, bought my kitchen from him. And he's like, you can put it there. And I was like, okay, like I did not think, but it would only work for me this way, because I have to open Champagne Problems, and then I can move UES and change it to LAS. So that is basically the gist.
And what you're doing.
Yes, it is.
And why you're doing it.
In why I'm doing it, I mean, this is not, for sure, like, UES is my baby, and it's like, your first child, like, I feel like UES is an actual community staple. It is literally named Upper East Side, like, it's gonna kill the neighborhood. I mean, this is my manager, she's been with me, one of the first employees I hired back in 2017, she's a manager over there at Buttersville. Like, she knows I cried to her, because I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna take away the ice cream shop. Like, during the pandemic, the ice cream shop was the only thing open in the neighborhood, and everyone would call and take their one walk a day for their sanity with their kids or with their assisted living or whatever. Just, this is really hard, but the landlords, we know, no matter what kind of happens here on this level, like, they control. I mean, this is a $500,000 lawsuit he wants to slap him. It's a real thing, where it was.
You don't have a choice.
I have no other choice, and I didn't get awarded any PPP, so I don't have a choice. And my name is Courtney Bond, and I swear I'm gonna change it to Courtney Bowery, because the Bowery has now become like my new home, and I love it there. Like, obviously, everyone's really good there, and I've already spoken to the mission, to like work something out, to provide ice cream and stuff, I mean, like.
Just out of curiosity, I know when you were here last time, there were residents, and several residents we hear from often. And
Yeah.
they're not here, which is, I find a little odd. Have you spoken to them?
Yeah, I mean, the
They're-
thing is,
they're on
like,
board?
I've been nice with them, as in, like, please, I'm always so surprised sometimes when you see these things, and I understand from an operator's perspective, but like, why would you want to piss them off? You're in bed with these people
Okay,
forever.
so you
can't
haven't
get away from
spoken
them.
to the
You can
neighbors?
say whatever you want at these meetings, there's no, and that's why even the last meeting, and David was referring to me as a restaurant, like, no, I'm not a restaurateur.
Yeah.
I am I'm a cocktail, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to come here and, what's the bait switch type of thing,
Yeah.
like, and I'm not trying to piss off my neighbors, like, we have to do this together, it's a cocktail bar, it's been operating for 7 years, it's an SRO building, there's nobody even lives in the building, so it's not.
So
Okay,
I
yeah.
have a question, because
Sure.
I'm the chair of our cannabis task force committee. And we heard an applicant in November that had applied for a cannabis license for 243 Bowery.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean he necessarily gets the same address, but have you talked to that person that owns that space about?
The
But
place
isn't that-
I'm applying for?
isn't?
243, yeah.
This is 243.
Yeah, so, yes, off
And
the.
we have a lease, right?
We wouldn't have heard him if he didn't have a
Heard him
lease.
if he didn't have a
Yeah.
lease.
Oh, I don't know anything about that, no. I mean, Richie Berry shouldn't be offering me a lease if he's got.
He shouldn't be.
Let me like
Do you have a
double
lease?
check.
No, I have a letter of intent, it's contingent on
On
this
the-
meeting,
on the
yeah,
license.
right, yeah.
Let me, I'm gonna look back at Heidi's document, but she edited. the
Yeah, with
word.
our cannabis, I don't know how they do it on the Upper East Side. We won't hear them unless they have a signed lease to show that they're in possession of that property. So
Well, and I never like to go to a meeting without a signed lease, but Barry was very adamant about him not wanting to go through the work of a lease, like,
And that's-
I'm going through this
You're not
work.
listening to what
yeah,
we're
we hear,
saying.
oh, it's for the
We're
cannabis
saying
license.
Somebody else already has a lease.
It sounds like what Sarah's saying is they heard something in November for 243 Bowery with an actual lease.
It's possible something happened, they dropped out.
It could be.
It
Yeah.
totally is.
I do see this a lot, 'cause I mean, obviously, once this became a part of my life, I made sure to make this a part of my life, and I see that even, you know, and I understand, because at the community board meeting, they submitted their new lease for my property at my year 10. He's making almost 15K more on year 1. So like from a business perspective, I get it, and these landlords are thirsty, because they know that once that 1,000 feet is done, you know, this is the moneymaker right now. This
So,
is-
yeah.
Brittany,
Yeah. So, my only point is, and all I have in the notes, Susan, is that they sent you documents that the office wasn't able to open. So I don't have like.
We
those-
we don't let anyone come, and we're
Yeah.
eventually able to open them, and we
Yeah.
wouldn't let anyone come without the lease. Now, like you say, something else.
Could have happened between
Since
that.
then,
So-
but we're trying to tell you so that you can go
follow
to them.
up.
You can check on it.
Yeah.
So that-
Well, I do have a signed letter of intent, so
That
he was
doesn't
just,
mean anything, it really doesn't.
You should make
oh,
sure.
well, I mean,
It's
okay,
better than nothing.
it's better than nothing, and you
But
know, I
we
never
won't-
go that
we
way.
won't take a
Which
letter
very
of-
could be the reason why
We won't take a letter of intent for a cannabis applicant because we know they give them to everybody.
yeah.
I mean, we'll have 3 people with a letter of intent for the same place. That's why we now say you have to have a lease.
Yeah.
I think that it's safe to say that if the landlord's marketing this to Courtney, that deal didn't go forward.
We
We've
just want her to.
No, I think they're right,
Yeah.
I think this is the
Yeah.
reason why he wouldn't give me
Yeah.
a lease, maybe he's,
Yeah,
you know,
so
fucking around
yeah.
with somebody else.
So
We don't need to keep
Yeah.
belaboring this. The only
she
point
was bringing
is,
it up for your
Yeah.
protection.
No, I
please
appreciate it.
look into that,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of cannabis licenses going into Bowery, so I just recognized the address, checked that, and saw that, so
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
confirm.
So for now, I mean, we're not that, you have the letter of intent, if it falls through after we approve you or deny you, whatever, that's a whole different story. I think she's just bringing it up more for your protection.
Yeah, no, for sure, like,
No,
it
we
makes
appreciate it.
sense to me that that's why he wouldn't give me a lease.
It could be, so.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, that being said, moving on. So I think, you know, we've got the gist of what you're doing. So basically, you're doing, as opposed to what you did at Champagne Problems, you're doing this more as your Upper East Side shop is moving down here. I know it was a slightly different vibe, a slightly
Oh,
different thing.
totally different vibe.
So I get that,
Yeah.
okay. So that's a good summary of what we
Yes, it is literally a, you know, take an eraser,
And just
erase the U and
put it down.
draw it out, so, but no, I love that business.
Okay.
I mean, like, I had no intent on obviously, closing that business or even doing that right now,
But
so.
things happen.
Things really do happen,
Okay.
plans do they ever,
Yeah.
so.
Are you producing your own ice cream or?
So my partner is Sokol Creamery up in Great Barrington. When I first, because I'm not in the ice cream business, but when I tried all the mortars, I met with, you know, Nick, I met with Jackie of Maple Hills. I met with all of them, and I was actually close to Oddfellows because Sean and his partner, like, they get really creative, and I thought that would be good, like a speakeasy.
No, it's okay. I used to run a yogurt place, so I just.
Okay, it's their mom and pop shop that's been operating for 30 years in the Berkshires, and it worked well for me because.
Okay, so
Anyway.
so I
They
think
tried
we
it.
got it, we're gonna move on. I'm just doing one more time, there's no community to the public, right? Yeah. Okay, so that being said, I think Frank, did you have anything to add?
No,
Clarify what I
I
said.
have Courtney for a client.
You've got her, so, okay.
I know better, I sit here quietly.
Okay, so that being said, I think there's nothing, so no members of the public, no one else, so committee, does anyone have any questions or thoughts? So I know normally, it is an unlicensed location, and normally we're a little bit more hesitant on this location. I will say this is on the Bowery, I think, is it technically under the SRO or is the SRO next door?
They're all three SROs.
They're all three,
He has
you're-
3 SROs in a row.
They're
The reason
all-
why it's not like.
It's a,
Yeah,
well,
that's
it's not an SRO, but it's that corner of Bowery, those upper floors above the corner between Stanton and, those are,
Yeah.
it's not an SRO, it's probably, I'm using the wrong term, but
It's like chop house stuff, like there's no tenants in the 2, and he's got 3 tenants in his woods waiting for the grave.
so, but my point was, I mean, I'm not saying that they don't count, but
No, they don't-
you don't
they
have
count.
resident, you don't have
Yeah.
residents right
Oh,
above you
no,
in that
there's nobody in
sense.
that. And the reason why I think, because I think that it's been previously licensed, is that the art gallery, there's only stairs to the basement. In order for me to take this, I have to build a second floor to make it ADA accessible. So that's why I think it probably was previously unlicensed, because you can't
There's
access.
nothing there, yeah.
You can't, I have to build the floor to make it ADA.
So my point was being that normally we would consider it more harshly or thoroughly, that's the word I was looking for, because it's unlicensed. In this case, because it is on the Bowery, you don't have any residents immediately above you, that stretch is fairly commercial. And it's a wide street. I'm inclined to say that this is, as we've said in our meetings before, if we're going to approve an unlicensed location, it would be on the Bowery or Houston or one of the avenues that is less impacting the residents in the neighborhood. So committee-wise, I'm saying that is why I'm more apt to consider this as an unlicensed location as opposed to what we've talked about before. She also is an established business owner. The fact that she's going to have another business further down in Bowery, also in some ways for me, she's more invested in the community. I feel like that's a good thing.
Well, I'm looking for departments to speak, so if you have any available, let me know.
My thought is.
It's actually easier to have them right next to each other.
Yeah.
So so basically where I'm going with this is, I'm okay with this being unlicensed. I'm willing to go with, our standard stipulations. I think she's agreed to most of them, I think, out of the I don't know if anyone has any issues about the hours or anything else. Anyone?
Remind me again, I got distracted.
It was, she's opening at 4 o'clock, I'm sorry, 5 o'clock
So
Monday
4
through
a.m.,
Thursday,
on the weekend.
4 o'clock Fridays and Sundays, and then closing at 1 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, 2 a.m. Thursdays, and 4 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays.
And that's just the same exact license I already have. I mean, it's a small cocktail bar, everyone's out. I want what I had because I earned it and I've done right by it for,
But so your cocktail bar with ice cream,
Yeah.
it's not, and that's, you say that's what you have. It's not going to be a club. You're not
No.
proposing to be, you're not having DJs, live music, any of that stuff.
DJs for events, but as it said on there, 4 to 6, we do holiday parties in December and January, and that's it. Otherwise, it is ambient recorded background.
that was
It's like
highlighted.
vintage oldies. You walk in, it's 1920s, you listen to Etta James and, you know what I mean, Louis Armstrong in the background. It's all online. I mean, you can see the place. It's been.
So I think that was the only thing, because that was actually highlighted on the resolution that I just read. And so in terms of you just described it, let me just get down to that section. Hold on. Okay, so you are saying, you did not check DJs or live music. So you just said DJs for special events.
Mhm.
Are you proposing live music too?
No.
Okay, so that,
I think we checked no more than 3 to 5 days per
Events.
month.
Yeah.
DJs.
DJs.
The
yeah,
DJs to
yes,
coincide with.
yes, that is,
the
you're
events.
correct, but live music is, does
No,
not
live
say,
music.
so that
We
should
should
actually
check
be
that.
checked
It's all
off.
there.
Okay, so live music should be checked off. So, but you will have DJs, no more than 3 to 5 DJs per month. We don't do a range, we're just gonna say no more than 5 per month.
Yeah.
And then no covers, no promoted events. And then same thing, no more than 5 private parties per month.
Yeah.
And I think you heard us earlier, a private party is a full buyout
Buyout,
or something,
yeah.
not like a birthday party or
No,
something, it's
no,
full
full
buyout.
yeah.
Okay. And then even though you're having DJs, it's still gonna be at ambient background level, you're
Yeah,
not having
It's
entertainment.
not- Yeah.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
No live music.
No, I've never.
Because we asked for live music before.
For
In the
you,
app, we
yes.
did ask for live music.
I mean, I had a jazz singer once for a Gatsby party.
But I'm talking about for this application. You
Yeah.
said we wanted live music.
No.
If you're okay with it, then
No, we don't.
no live music.
But it is
I just
that, and I
wanna
wanna be
clarify.
transparent, like,
Yeah,
we
no,
do
thank you.
always the Gatsby party, it's like, and every year we do a Gatsby NYE, we'll have a jazz singer come in singing the Gatsby.
But that is live music.
Yeah,
You
it
want
is, but it's a singer with the DJ, so it's not like a band that comes in. So is that like?
It still would technically be live
Okay,
music.
so let's check it off.
So
because
do you
I'm
want to
not
just
trying
do?
lie about it.
Okay, I'm not put fine to find a point on it, but do you want to, you said that's at New Year's, you want to do just one time per year live music?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to.
No, let's shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, because like I
So-
said, it is what that is.
Well,
you
let's,
know?
I mean, and I don't have a problem with this. I don't know if anyone else on the committee, I'm willing to say, I mean, rather, one is very limiting. We'll say 3 times per year.
Yeah, that's fine, absolutely, yeah,
Live music 3 times a year.
yeah.
Which just, and
Unamplified, yeah, background.
Unamplified.
Yep,
you got that mic on there. Unamplified live music 3 times a year, basically with one singer,
yeah,
lounge singer,
Yeah.
one singer.
it's always.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and put it up, and we're fine on that. We'll get to that just momentarily. So I think I went through everything. That was all my questions that I had that were highlighted in the resolution. So.
Concession old age.
So we're gonna go ahead then, and unless anyone on the committee has any other questions, we're gonna go ahead and put the stipulation form up here, what we've kind of just went through and what you agreed to. And we can then, this will be what we'll be voting on after this. So I, Courtney Bond, representative of Banana Brownie LLC, 243 Bowery, will be a full liquor license. We'll operate an ice cream shop speakeasy with a cocktail bar, with less than a full kitchen, serving food during all hours of our operation. Monday through Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., Thursdays, 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., Fridays and Saturdays, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., and Sundays, 1 a.m. to, and I can't see the other side. 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then I will not use outdoor space for commercial use. You're not having a doorman security, you're not soundproofing. There's no soundproofing there, I'm assuming though, or you're not putting any in?
I mean, like, I mean, honestly, there's no one, but I can. I don't know if there is already, actually, you know what, there might be, because right now it's currently 21 feet ceilings. And I know that they did something to kind of, you know what I mean, how the sound travels, so I can, if you want me to.
I can put it if necessary.
Yeah, so we're gonna put, will install soundproofing if necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But it's, yeah.
And then we'll close any front or rear facade. So currently it's not an open facade at all, it's just a door, right?
Yeah, it's just a door, they had TV screens that were there, I'm gonna take my current storefront, which is just, you know, French windows with a.
Okay, so you are gonna put in that was my question.
Just the
You're gonna put
windows
in
will
open
open up,
facade.
yep, and then we
So,
close by 10.
so then we'll say I will close any front or rear facade doors and windows by 10 p.m. or when any amplified sound, including DJs, live music, live non-musical performances will be.
And you can't hear, I mean, you can't, the ice cream truck is 150 square feet, so you walk in, you don't even know anything's going on, so there'll never be a noise
Yeah.
ever that makes it to the street.
And then it will be, you will have DJs and live music. You will not have third-party promoted events, any event in which a cover fee is charged or scheduled performances. You will not have more than, and can you change that, Michael, just to 5, we're gonna say 3 to 5, just 5 DJs per month. And then not more than 5 private parties per month. And did you say the DJs will only be for the private parties?
Yeah.
So maybe put that in the second thing. And then as an explanation, we put unamplified live music 3 times per year. And then DJs are only for private events.
Yes.
You're okay with it? Okay. I will play ambient background recorded music only. I will not apply for an alteration without coming to CV3. It's a full, it's not seat class, is not applicable. I will not participate in party crawls or pub buses. I will not have unlimited drink specials. I will not have a happy hour or specials with or without time restrictions. I will not have wait lines outside. I will have a staff person responsible for no loitering crowds. I will conspicuously post the stipulation and residents may contact the manager at the number below. Is that all good?
Yes, can you change Courtney at the very top without any, please?
Pet peeve.
Well, it's my name, so, you know, it's like the spell, the way it should be spelled, that's.
Okay, so if you're okay with that. Committee, this is the resolution we're putting forth with these stipulations. We're ready to move to a vote. John Fout.
Yes.
Sarah Batchu. Amanda Lou.
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes. Michael Lavar.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. Frank will get the stipulations. He'll take care of getting them notarized and you'll be good to go.
Thank you all very much, and Sarah, thank you, because if this for some reason doesn't work out at 243, I'm gonna be back. So I have to be back again very soon, but please don't forget that. You know?
Thank you.
No, I'm scared you will.
Good luck, thank you.
Thank you. The legal shop.
Susan, you're wishful thinking there.
I get it, it's different.
Okay, so next we have number 7, Crispiano, 130 St. Mark's LLC. Would the applicant for Crispiano please raise their Zoom hands?
Okay, when you go out, there's gonna have
Yeah.
seats right outside.
1,
I think they're all looking to stand up.
3,
Just up your hands.
Oh, I'm not.
4.
Yeah, yeah.
4.
Okay.
Is there a Nicolene that's the one?
We can go these, there's not.
Yeah.
Crispiano.
Might change a little, a lot, but that. Okay, so, Alessandro, you're the applicant for number 7, which is Crispiano 130 St. Mark's?
I'm the attorney for the applicant. The applicant should be here because I was texting with him until a few minutes ago. So I'm just gonna remind him to raise his hand.
What?
Yes.
Okay, we got you, perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna give, as you've heard, a quick summary of the application. Okay, this is 130 St. Mark's Place LLC, doing business as Crispiano, is seeking an upgrade to a full OP license in the premises located at 130 St. Mark's. It's an application for an establishment up to 74 people with 14 tables, 36 seats, 1 bar with 4 bar stools, a full kitchen and prep area serving Italian food from 11:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. No TVs, small speakers playing background ambient music only, and then open from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. There are 19 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. The applicant has not had any 301 complaints in the past 3 years. 12 residents who live within 2 blocks signed a petition in favor. And I think that's the general summary of that.
And we didn't hear from EV CC, right?
No, I think Laura's here. Yeah, so there are some people here to speak, but, so is that Alessandro or, it's Nicolin, right?
Yes.
Do you have anything to add, change, or correct? I think the one thing I do have a question, it was listed, I think, in 2 different places. Your hours, it is 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. and then it's 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. That is current and correct, right?
Yes. That is what we're proposing to do, yes.
Okay, maybe I'm mixing up an application.
As a general thought, as to integrate what you just said on the application, the reason why we're doing this is to be able to offer more items to our established clientele. We're not trying to overturn the operation that we are right now. We just had multiple clients coming and requesting to have, whether it's a limoncello, it's a digestivo, it is something that requires a little more alcohol content than wine and beer can afford, and also to offer some more cocktails, some Italian cocktails, whether it's a Negroni, espresso martini, to complement the menu and to offer some more options to our clientele.
Okay. Perfect. That being said, I think we're gonna, your hand's still up. Did you have anything to add to that, Nicolin? Otherwise, we're gonna move to members of the public for comment. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and just move to members of the public.
Okay.
Please raise your hand if you are here to speak to this item, which is number 7, 130 St. Mark's.
Laura.
So first, I see Laura Sewell. Laura, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Laura Sewell from the East Village Community Coalition. So there's not a formal block association on this block, but we do work with some of the residents there. And I believe Gen C reached out in January when this item first appeared, at the end of January, after it appeared in January, and they withdrew, I can't recall. And I wrote back just to say that there is not a formal block association, but we do work with people. I did not know what the inquiry was in regard to, so I just asked for clarification. I haven't heard back. It would have been nice to hear that it was regarding this application and we could have had some input from the residents, but I have reached out to them directly. And again, most of the residents on that block are not, as long as it's not open after midnight, they're okay. So the most important thing to them was the typo of the 2 a.m. When we reviewed this application, we've just found a lot of things that were left out or we had a question about, and I was hoping the committee could just follow up on that kind of more thoroughly. I know it's already late.
Yes, Laura, just so you know, I have those highlighted on the actual question. I'm gonna check on those.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So those are so outdoor use and hours after midnight are the main concerns of the residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
So I'm going to respond to quickly. This is Alessandro. I'm going to respond to.
Normally we'll let all the members of the public speak.
Okay. By any means, I'm taking notes.
See if there are any other members of the public. She's with the other one, yeah. Okay, so I do not see any other members of the public here to speak. So Alessandro, if you do want to just quickly respond to Laura's question and comment, but I do want to say, and I did look back at the questionnaire, that's why I asked about your hours. There is a contradiction in your questionnaire. And one section you put 2 a.m. on the weekends, but down below you put 12 a.m. closing all nights for your proposed hours. So I think from what you said before, you are proposing for 2 a.m. on the weekends. Is that correct?
All right, I'm going to respond one item at a time. So in order to clarify with Laura, yes, Jensi Bilali is a colleague of mine. He's an attorney, and his approach to this kind of application is to reach out to the very specific people that live in the block and the block associations, which in our experience are important to be reached out. My understanding is that once he understood that it was not a specific block association, we cannot try to rely more on the notice and the signatures page in support that we were able to provide for this application. So that's to clarify what happened with Mr. Bilali. When you say you reached out, Laura, I'm just gonna do a little back and forth. You say reached out to whom? To the neighbors, to the local community?
Oh, Laura's moved back. But I think that's what she did say. She said, I think, if I paraphrase, she had reached out. Yeah, go ahead, Laura. Normally we don't let this, but just quickly answer this.
Sorry, just so we're sure we all understand each other. Yes, I reached out to the folks that I normally work with on this for this block.
That's
correct. Thank you for the explanation.
Thank you. No problem. As far as the hours, I'm going to respond to both of you. Right now,
so it says that your kitchen closes 11:30 every night. Is that correct?
That is the current status. Yes, this is under the wine and beer license. They close at 11:30 p.m.
But you wrote on there that you're proposed in the future to still be closing at 11:30. Then you'll be open for another 2.5 hours.
No, I believe that. I don't know if, because I sent like a later version of the application to Mr. Chen today, proposing that if we're gonna be allowed to stay open until 2 a.m. on Saturday and Fridays, of course we're going to have the kitchen stay open accordingly. So the kitchen will be open till 1:30 a.m. on those days. Again, we are allowed to stay open until that.
Just to clarify, I don't think we received it. It was probably got last minute thing. So we did not receive that change. So I think that's part of the question. So you are proposing your existing hours are only till midnight, but you are proposing to extend Fridays and Saturdays to 2 a.m.
Correct.
And I do know, I mean, as Laura said, the residents are okay, and I think they're okay because they thought you were going to continue with the closing hours at midnight. And I'd rather than go back and forth later, I would just ask you, since if we were considering this upgrade, would you consider keeping your hours at midnight for the moment to, show that you're responsible operators with the full alcohol and come back at a later date for an extension? Or is that something you feel you need now?
Is there any way we can, let's say, find a middle way and let's do 1 a.m. on those 2 days during the weekend, Friday and Saturdays, and then if there's need to come back in front of you, we're happy to do it.
I would be fine. I think I would be okay with that. I mean, I do know generally you haven't been a problem business. I don't think there were a lot of complaints.
Yeah, again, this is not like, we're not trying to turn the restaurant into anything different. It's just like giving people a few more options to maybe, have a later dinner over the course of the weekend and just enjoy something after dinner. Again, we're not turning into a bar. It is not our goal. We know what we're doing. They know what they're doing. They want to keep doing what they're doing, but.
Question, Alessandro or Nicolin. You did not check off on the application, at least on the previous version, I'm not sure if it changed today, that you did not check off about outdoor space. Are you proposing outdoor space under the open restaurants program?
It wasn't intentional leaving it out because we were like in the middle of preparing the application when the new rules came out for street, sidewalk cafe and roadwalk cafe.
Yes, so no, that's okay. So you're applying for the program. So then, so what you are saying, you would be checking off that I will close all outdoor dining allowed under the open restaurants program by 10 p.m. Are you okay with that stipulation? Because that's our standard stipulation that we ask of all outdoor spaces.
I'm going to let my client respond, but as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a very reasonable and again, it's in our stipulation. So, we will abide by that stipulation and be closed by 10 p.m. as long as, we have a chance to apply under the new rules to have.
No, you obviously have. We just need to make sure that what we're approving aligns with what you're actually doing and what you're applying for. So I think we've now agreed, we've come to the terms that you're okay with having the 10 p.m. closing time for your outdoor space that you are currently applying for. So that answers that question.
Can I, my client can confirm that? Do you mind, Nick? Are you okay with that?
Is this something like temporarily? I mean, because all the other business there, they use the outdoor space till midnight.
No, and if they are not allowed. There's been a big issue with that block on St. Mark's, and they've actually moved back the time that the open streets because there's the open streets program there. That's been a big issue, and they've actually moved back the open street closing time as well.
Yeah, the open streets closes at 10 p.m. now.
Now, it's supposed to. There may be other things. Okay, so Susan assures us it does, but all the other places, I will say, Nick, on that block do have that same stipulation. If they're not abiding by it, that's a whole different issue, but they all do have that same stipulation. I will confirm that.
Well, that's okay then. 10 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for working with us on that. And I think you also did not check off happy hour. Will you have a happy hour or not? And this is not a big point for us. It's just was not checked off on your application.
I kind of let it out, to speak it tonight. I mean, I understand happy hour can be sensitive. Our happy hour would be more targeted towards food happy hour. So we're happy to stipulate to close it by a certain time, I think 7 p.m.
We don't have a problem with happy hours. We just put in the happy hour will end by what you were just saying, whatever time you choose. If it's 7, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever you choose, that's all we need to know.
Yeah, I believe, I'm going to say 7 if Nick wants to do it 7:30 or 8 p.m. I know happy hour usually ends at around 7. People start eating around.
Happy hour to end.
Till 7, yes, 5 p.m. till 7 p.m.
No need to discuss further.
Yep.
As well.
And what was it, Robert or John? Sorry.
I don't think they sufficiently answered about music.
Let's see which one. They had checked off. They will not have DJs, live music, third party.
Okay. Maybe.
No scheduled performances, and they will play ambient background music. That was all checked off. So
okay.
So yes, I think that took care of all the questions that we had that were kind of outstanding on your application. The hours, the outdoor space. You currently don't have a doorman or security. You don't need that. You're existing operating, so you don't, soundproofing doesn't apply or it hasn't been an issue, so.
Correct.
Okay. So I think.
I have another quick question.
Yep, go ahead,
if you don't mind. I have a question for Laura, actually, if she can. I just want to clarify something.
Okay. Move her back quickly.
Laura, do you mind if Laura, do you feel like you've sufficiently spoken enough to the residents who you do know about this place that how strong their feelings are? Because it sounded like there was a miscommunication.
I explained the discrepancies in the application to the residents. And, the response was again, they don't have a problem with after midnight. With as long as the early closing restaurants that close at midnight. And they were hopeful there would not be outdoor dining, but I think if it's within the constraints that we're describing, it's clearly not a bar, it's a restaurant that's been opening, and I think we'll be okay.
Thank you for that, Laura. Okay, so that being said, I think we're going to put up a stipulation form for Alessandro and Nicola, and we'll go through that just to make sure that you are okay with everything that we've just gone through. So please pull that up, Michael. Okay, so Nicola, and again, I apologize by, is it Jack?
Leskai.
Okay. As a qualified representative of 130 St. Mark's Place, located at 130 St. Mark's Place, agrees to the following stipulation. I will operate a full service restaurant, specifically an Italian restaurant, with kitchen open and serving food all hours. That needs to be checked off. Oh, I guess that was the other minor discrepancy. So you had the kitchen would be open until 11:30. And that's not a major problem, but basically what we say is kitchen and open food serving all hours, which still means you're serving until midnight. So if you're closing your kitchen, food is still coming out, you're serving until midnight. So are you okay with us saying kitchen open and serving food during all hours?
That's fine.
No. Yes, I mean, what it actually means is like we're not taking customers after 11:30 p.m. but whatever we have inside.
We're not expecting you to serve someone at 12 a.m., but our standard language is kitchen open serving, and that's something the SLA uses as well. So
okay.
Yeah, we're not expecting you if someone walks in at 11:59 to open your kitchen and cook them a full meal, but okay. So you will close all outdoor dining allowed under the open restaurants program by 10 p.m. and will not have speakers or TV monitors, no security, no soundproofing. You will close any
Did you switch the hours on Friday and Saturday or no?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes. So your hours of operation will be 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept 2 a.m. personally, but
yeah. And then you will close all outdoor dining at 10 p.m., no security, no soundproofing. You will close any front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. every night or when any amplified sound is playing. You will not have DJs, you will not have live music, third-party promoted events, no event which cover fee is charged, and no scheduled performances. It will be ambient background recorded music only, will not apply for an alteration without coming to CB3, will not participate in pub crawls, will not have unlimited drink specials, will have a happy hour until 7 p.m., will not have wait lines, and then we'll have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loiter or noise outside. So check that out, that's Michael. We'll conspicuously post this stipulation beside your liquor licenses, and residents may contact the owner at the number below. Is that all correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is going to be the motion that is in front of us. We're going to do a roll call vote. John Fout?
Yes.
Sarah Batchu? Amanda Lou?
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes. Michael Lorio?
Yes.
Okay. So the motion has passed. The office will be sending out the stipulation form to you, Alessandro, or to Nicola, probably both. There'll be instructions with that. You just need to get it notarized and back to us by the deadline that the office sends.
Will do. Thank you very much for your help and your assistance tonight.
Okay, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. The next is item number 8, Balad, 208 First Avenue. Would the applicants please raise your hands for Balad 208 First Avenue? Okay, Roland, yes, I know Roland is one of the applicants or the applicant.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Kathleen, are you here with the applicant?
Yes, I am. I'm the attorney for the applicant.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, I'm here now.
Okay. I'm going to give just a quick summary and then give you an opportunity to respond. So Great Caterers LLC, doing business as Balad, is seeking an upgrade to a full OP liquor license in the premises at 208 First Avenue. This is an application for 74 people, 15 tables, 16 seats. It wasn't in the application. What's the length of your bar?
About 8 feet.
8 feet, okay. 1 8-foot bar with 4 stools and a full kitchen serving Lebanese food during all its operation. There are 27 full licenses within 500 feet. The applicant has operated establishment with only a beer and wine license for 18 years. There have been only 5 commercial 301 complaints with action necessary since 2021. We received no opposition or support for this application. 10 residents who live within 2 blocks of location signed a petition in favor, and they are proposing, I think they're keeping the same hours. It's 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday. So they're very early, reasonable hours. And before I turn it over to you for any additions, the one thing I would like to question or point out, there is a church located at, and I'm sorry, I looked this up, and it is actually listed on the SLA's map. So my understanding or my thought is that it is a legitimate, recognized house of worship that would be within 200 feet of your location. Do you know anything about that? And
Yeah. So let me just respond to that because I did research that quite a bit.
Okay.
Actually, it would knock us out of the box. There's no point to being here.
Yeah.
But that church, first of all, is not exclusive used as a church. There's actually apartments above. And when I looked it up, there were actually applications or advertisement for rental of the apartments above. But then I went further.
Apartments.com. I saw that too.
Yeah.
I think that was, anyways, go on, sorry. We'll discuss it.
Let me just, because it goes further than that. I mean, that's not enough for me. But then when I actually tried to get to the church, there's actually no phone number. You have to call the main, I guess, group of the church, which I did. There was no answer. I sent an email. There was none. And then my client went further and actually went across the street because apparently they're only open supposedly on Sundays from, I think, 10 to 12 or 10 to 1. And then he went across and spoke to neighbors and they said it's been abandoned for how long, Roland?
For 7-8 years. Nobody sees anybody there. I ask all the neighbors. Yep.
So that's all we know. I mean, I guess we're willing, listen, it's not going to get approved if it's a legitimate church.
So here's what I'm going to say just to that. I mean, I do believe that you did your due diligence on that and you very well are probably correct. I just do know that it did show up on the SLA land map.
Yeah, it does. That's what I found.
It's often the other situation where there's churches that are legitimate churches that aren't on the map. So when I saw that, that was just a little bit of a red flag to me, but I'm fine. So normally what we would do, we move, and we would just note that in our resolution that, because it's not our determination, it's the SLA's determination. So we can let them say, this is, or as you said, it's a defunct and hasn't been in operation for 7 years. So just said thank you that you had done your research on that, but that's just so we know, we can move on from that. I don't think that's enough for us to, it's not for me at least to disqualify.
I just want to let you know that we are also going to bring it to their attention in the application and just show them all the research we've done and why it should be approved.
Thank you.
We're not hiding.
Okay, so now that was the only other question I had. Is there anything else in my summary that needs to be added to, corrected, or amended?
Yeah, so just one thing, Roman did indicate to me, so those are the hours that he is presently at. He did say that in the future, he might want to on Friday or Saturday go to 1 a.m. I don't know if that's going to be an issue with you guys or not. He's at midnight right now. Not something he's doing now, but he would like the opportunity to be able to do that.
Here's the only thing I'm going to say about that. Generally, I don't necessarily feel that's a big issue for me, but what I will say about this application, if you, on your signatures that you've already procured.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
If you listed those early out or those other hours, we can't really go back and change that because that could affect how the people that we're signing feel.
Right, no, that's true.
Okay.
So I don't, again, I don't think that 1 hour would be, I know you're a restaurant, you've been in operation for a very long time. I don't think it's an issue, but I just think for this application tonight, that was not what was listed for the petitioners to sign.
But they can always come back later.
But you can't.
I was just gonna say that, Susan. So let me put this to Roland. We would probably be able to be put over to next month. Would that be correct if I said that to him or not?
You could do that if you want to basically, yes, if you want to put that over until next month.
right? And then Roland, that's up to you. And then you could amend your petition.
I'd rather not, let's go with the 12 because I never opened till 1. I just wanted to add it in case, one day we change our mind, but let's stay with the 12. I'm comfortable with
If
it.
you do change your mind down the road, you can always come back for an extension of your hours at pretty much.
Good. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we'll move forward tonight then.
I just have one question for him. Fika Benaya?
فيك بنية أكيد طبعا for sure. Please come in.
That's not fair. We have to have a translator here.
Kathleen needed to be changed or amended on my summary at least.
No, nothing at all.
Okay, I don't know, are there any members of the public here to speak to this item? I don't see any. Okay, committee members, any other questions or comments? Okay, so I think generally, is everyone okay with this as presented? It's an upgrade. We'll mention to the SLA in our resolution about the church. If it's determined, that's up to them. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put the stipulation form up on the screen. This is basically what we just went through, but it'll be what's going to be sent to you for your signatures. So I, Roland Simon, as a qualified representative of Great Caterers LLC at 208 First Avenue, agrees to the following stipulations. My license will be a full liquor. I will operate a full service, and that actually should be a Lebanese restaurant. If you could fill that in, Michael, please. Thank you. With kitchen open, serving food during all hours of operation. The hours are 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday. I will close all outdoor dining allowed under the open restaurants program by 10 p.m. I will close any front and rear facade doors and windows at 10 o'clock p.m. I will not have DJs, live music, third-party promoted events, any event which a cover fee is charged or scheduled performances. I will play ambient recorded music only. I will not apply for an alteration without coming to CB3. I will not participate in pub crawls. I will not have unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches. I will not have a happy hour. I will not have wait lines. I will have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering. I will post the stipulation beside my liquor license, and residents may contact the owner at the number below. Does that all look good to you?
Looks
good to
great.
me.
Thank
What
you.
about you, Roland?
Yeah,
Great.
it looks good. Thank you.
Okay, so that being said, I am putting forth this motion of these stipulations. We'll do a roll call vote. John Fowler.
Yes.
Sarah Batcher.
Yes.
Amanda Lou.
Yes.
Clint Smeltzer, yes. Michael Lavario.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Kathleen Rowland, the office will be sending you out the stipulation form you just reviewed for your signature and return it to the office with their instructions.
Okay.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Good
You
evening.
as well, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, on to the next. Okay, two more. Let's go. The next item is number 9, Sulumaria Rossi, 222 Avenue B. The applicant is here. Looks like Phil Dorn. I'm assuming you're probably the attorney for the applicant. Andrew, are you the applicant, Andrew?
Yes, Andrew's the applicant.
Perfect. Perfect. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to read a quick summary. Okay. So SR 222 LLC, doing business as Sulumaria Rossi, is seeking a full on-premises license in the premises located at 222 Avenue B between 13th and 14th Street. It's an application for an establishment of 74 people, 12 tables, 34 seats with a bar with 16 seats. What size is the bar? We usually just specify that.
25 feet. I think it's in our packet.
Okay, that's fine. 25-foot bar, 16 seats, Italian food with a full kitchen serving food during all hours of operation, no television music and ambient background recorded music only. There are only 4 on-premises licenses within 500 feet. That's strange. Current location is licensed to the Roost, a cafe and bar. The applicant has been operating an establishment with a license in CB7 since 2019. There have been 7 commercial throw-in complaints of this location since 2020. 32 residents who live within 2 blocks of this location have signed a petition in favor of the application. And we haven't received any necessarily support or opposition. We did receive an email with some questions just regarding what was actually happening here in regards to the current tenant, which we can get to in a second. And their hours they are proposing are Opening at 7 a.m. all days, closing by 12 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday and 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. Okay, so based on my little summary, is there anything that you need to add, change, or correct?
Yeah, do you mind if I hop in for a sec?
Yes, please do.
All right, so thank you. As I mentioned, my name is Phil Dorn. I'm an attorney with Pizetsky and Bookman. Andrew Loscalzo is the owner of Salumeria Rossi. Andrew owns already, as you mentioned, one iteration of this nice Italian restaurant on the Upper West Side, and is now just looking to open another one down here in the space, which is currently home to the Roost. The concept is a really nice, inviting Italian restaurant, upscale but approachable. The front, if you're familiar with the Roost space, there's kind of a front area and then a back area. The front of the space will be used as a cafe and a high quality delicatessen to sell imported meats and cheeses, things of that nature. And that's hence the 7 a.m. Opening. And then in the back, it will be a nice Italian restaurant. In our opinion, it'll be certainly an upgrade in quality of life from what's currently there, as the Roost is, a bar that is open very late. I know they're open till at least 3. I couldn't find their stips, but to the best of my knowledge, they may have even been approved for 4 a.m. No live music, no DJ, nothing like that this time around. You mentioned the hours, which are a step in the right direction from what the Roost has. The last thing I'll add is outreach. You should have received from our office petition signatures. If you didn't, I'm happy to email them to you.
I mentioned the petition signature. I just meant we have received no other. Oftentimes we'll receive emails in support or opposition in addition to the petition signature. We did receive, I think I said there were 32 within.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So yeah, we along with those petition signatures, we also reached out to a couple community groups. We did not hear back from them.
Okay.
A couple block associations.
Actually, Phil, I just do want to correct that. I did hear back from Laura this today. And she had just mentioned that I think this had gone to her spam, so she finally received it and she wrote me back an email today. So she did respond.
Okay, and you're right. And her response was basically, sorry for missing this email. I will see you at the meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it from our end for now.
Okay, so we are going to go to the public, and I do see Laura has her hand raised. We'll let her speak. We'll go to Laura first and let her. Laura, go right ahead.
Hello again. So I was surprised to see this on the agenda only because I had no idea about the Roost plans. My understanding is that the Roost holds a lease that's got another couple of years on it and a license that expires in June 2025. So this is just unusual. I go to a lot of these meetings and I'm not sure that's ever happened before. So without speaking to the merits of the application, I just find that it's highly unusual, to say the least. I also, just in terms of the Roost general operation, what they're approved for is maybe later than what they actually do. It's a pretty low key place. So, just not to say that you're not trying to operate a nice place, but this is a low key, affordable neighborhood place. So that's all I'll say. And I just really don't understand how we're hearing an application for something unless there's I just don't get what's going on. Sorry. Thank you.
I'm happy to answer that.
A new application or a transfer?
It's a new application. It's not a sale or trade. It's your correct. So Phil, I know it was checked on it's a new application, right? You did not check sale of assets or transfer or anything else. It's a new application, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's actually not that unusual for applicants to come before a community board. when there is a tenant that's already or that's currently there, people break off their leases all the time. Business disputes, things of that nature, or just going out of business. I can't speak to exactly what's going on at the Roost, but it's certainly not uncommon for people to.
In that case, Phil, here's the business. In this, from our understanding, that the Roost wasn't planning on going out of business. Do you actually have a lease? I know there's a letter from the landlord, but it just seemed to be a letter saying they were kind of a recommendation letter.
Well, my next comment was going to be that no, we don't have a lease, but a lease isn't required for this step in the process.
It's not, but
there's already a license there.
But usually if there's an existing license there, it's either some sort of transfer, a sale of assets, or
Usually, not always. I mean, this space was listed by a broker. We've seen the space, and we are in discussion with the landlord to move it.
So excuse me. So they're planning to evict the person that's there now.
I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the landlord.
The business there is not planning to leave, and they don't know anything about it. So it sounds like the landlord's trying to evict them.
Perhaps, but that's not for me to say. All I know is that the space is being shown to us, and we are allowed to come before you tonight.
You are. The only thing is, and we've done this in the past, is when we've had landlords that have driven out, we've had businesses that are well liked by the community, which in this case the Roost is, that are sometimes treated not as well from a landlord because they are in their own interest trying to get more money. I don't know if that's the case here, but and again, you're right. You have a right to come before us. It's just, that's why we're asking to try to figure out what's actually going on. We don't always like to report.
I think Andrew has a little more intel than I do on what's going on.
Andrew, do you know anything more about that?
Yes, hi, Andrew speaking here. Yeah, this was a situation where there was a brochure that was put out months ago, back in 2023. We reached out to the brokers about the space. We put an offer on the space and began to discuss it. I even met with the owner, Vito, and his partner later on, Cameron, working with the landlord and also working with them. There is a surrender agreement in place. I don't know the nature of the agreement between the two parties. I do know that it's amicable. My conversations with both Vito and Cameron have been amicable. In fact, we've talked about some of the equipment that they have in the space. We've talked about the space itself. And, a lot of this is also contingent on the agreement with the community board, because obviously, this is why we're here tonight. We are taking over the space. Vito is an Italian American. I'm an Italian American. I have a restaurant. He understands that. It is kind of a passing on of this type of establishment. I understand that we're not a bar and we don't intend on being a bar. But the nature of the agreement between the landlord and the tenant is not so much privy to myself, but I can say that everything has been amicable up until now.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they, if they want to surrender the lease, why wouldn't they have a sale of assets?
Well, that's being considered, but at this point in time, it's not part of our application.
Well, isn't it advantageous to you to have it be a sale of assets?
I mean, that's a business decision. That's not an SLA committee discussion.
Well, it's a different license that we would actually consider a little bit differently and possibly easier, but you're right. You can do whatever you want. So that being said, thank you for that explanation. That clears it up a little bit. I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we have to. The SLA can't issue us a license if we don't show.
No. I think our question was just about what was actually happening, because as I said, the Roost is a very well-liked neighborhood business that has not been a problem. So if, something
like by myself included, by the way, I used to live on Avenue C and I've been there several times.
So anyway, so that's, I think I personally don't need any more to discuss that anymore. That was just, if there's a surrender agreement, whatever, that we don't need to be privy to those details either. But Okay, so anything else, I know I asked that question, anything else that in my summary that you want to correct or change or add to?
Nope, so far all good.
Okay, so is there anyone from the public here to speak to this? Please raise your Zoom hand. Okay, see none. Then I'm going to move to committee discussion. Committee, does anyone have any questions, comments?
Answered all of them.
Whether or not I forget, I did look back, but it was when I first started looking a week or two ago, what the roost hours were. I don't remember what they were approved for, but you're moving it to 2 a.m. So you're moving earlier, which as you said, is a good direction for us. I think you are an authentic or legitimate restaurant. I don't think you're proposing to be a rowdy, loud club, crazy bar. So the only other thing I think you did not check off or you didn't clarify on your application, you didn't check off that you will close any front or facade doors or windows. I think the Roost currently has an open facade, do they not? Do the windows open?
I'm not sure about that. Andrew, do you know if I know obviously there's the front door, but I don't know if there's French doors or anything like that.
No, no, they currently do not.
But yeah, so currently they are, and we just pulled it up, currently they are closed, it's a fixed facade. You're not planning on changing that, so you have a closed fixed facade, correct?
We are potentially going to open up a window for the cafe. So there might be an exception to the facade, but it wouldn't be a full French doors or
opening an operable window, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're gonna change, or not change, but we're going to put that you will close any front and rear facade doors or windows at 10 p.m. or anytime amplified sound is playing, etc. You're agreeable to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so fine, we will put that, because neither box was checked off on the application, so we were unclear. I think everything else on the application was clear and was filled in. Okay, committee, any other questions? Okay, if you could go ahead and please put up the stipulation form. So we're going to bring up the stipulation form on the screen for you to review. I'll go ahead and read through it just so we're all on the same page. I, Andrew Armstrong, is it Los Calzo?
Yes, correct.
Qualified representative Salumeria Rossi, located at 222 Avenue B. Agrees with the following stipulation. I will operate a full liquor, wine, beer, and cider, and it will be a full service restaurant, specifically an Italian restaurant with kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation. Hours of operation will be 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. It will close all outdoor dining allowed under the temporary open restaurants program or any other outdoor programs by 10 p.m. all days. We're not doing security soundproofing. You will close any front rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. every night or when amplified sound is playing. You will not have DJs, live music, third-party promoted events, or any event in which a cover fee is charged or scheduled performances. You'll play ambient recorded background music only. Will not apply for an alteration without coming to CP3. Will not seek a change. That doesn't apply. Will not participate in pub crawls or party buses. Will not have unlimited drink specials, including busy brunches. Will have a happy hour closing or ending by 7 p.m. Will not have a wait line. Will have a staff person to ensure no loitering, noise, or crowds outside. Will conspicuously post the stipulation beside my license. Residents may contact the owner and manager at the number below, and it's Andrew Armstrong Los Calzo, and the phone number, which
the phone number is 203 554 7824.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Are you agreeable to everything that I just read through?
Yeah, that all looks good to me, Andrew. Is there anything that sticks out to you?
No, this is good.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to move to a vote. This is the motion in front of us.
I noticed that liquor wasn't checked off.
Yep, that's now been checked off. Thank you for correcting that, catching that. Okay, so we're going to move to a quick roll call vote on that motion. It will be John.
Yes.
Sarah. Amanda.
Yes.
Clint. Yes. Michael. Yes. Okay. Okay, so Phil, the office will be sending you out the stipulation form, sign, notarize, return with all the instructions.
Can't wait. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, last one. Okay, are the applicants here for number 12, Fan Szechuan Cuisine at 103 Essex Street? Please raise your Zoom hands. Okay. You and you? Yep. Okay, I see you. Matt, are you the applicant?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So before my mom was on the line, her name is Harriet Lowe. She been on twice, and then mentioning our 103 SS Street.
I think she's still on.
She's not. She's now on. So I think she left a message to you guys through Zoom, mentioning that because this is our first experience to apply this liquor license. And then she didn't know it was gonna be so long. She waited until 9 o'clock, and then she had a flight that she had to go on. And then now she's on airplane. And could I do all this?
We will note that she was on, and I assume she was in support, correct?
Yeah.
Or is she the applicant or part owner? Is that?
I'm also part of the owner. I just want to mention that she's
actually on the application she's actually part of the application.
Right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Harriet, I remember seeing Harriet on one of the applications, so yes, okay, but that's fine. That's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna read a quick little summary and then feel free to add or correct anything.
Okay.
One is seeking a full on-premises liquor license for the premises located at 103 Essex Street between Delancey and Rivington. It's an application for an establishment with 74 people, 7 tables and 18 seats, with a 24-foot bar, 9 seats, and a full kitchen serving Szechuan Chinese food all hours of operation. There are 32 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This location was previously an unlicensed restaurant. The applicant has never previously been a license holder, but has operated French Chinese cuisine in Deer Park since. I didn't see this. How long have you operated that restaurant in Deer Park?
About 5 years already. 6 years already. 6 years.
Since 2018, is that?
Yeah, about there. Yes.
Okay. Since 2018, we did not receive any support or opposition to this application at the moment. 5 residents who live within 2 blocks of location signed a petition in favor of the application. And the hours of operation they are proposing are 11 a.m. every day, closing by 10 p.m. all days. Okay, yes. Is there anything in that summary that I just read through that you'd like to add or change?
No.
Okay, so that being said, I don't think, just make sure there's no residents here, anyone to speak to this application? No. Okay. So committee, so we're going to move on to the committee. Does the committee have any questions or comments about this? No. Okay. My only, I guess, question or comment is, again, this is currently an unlicensed location, and normally we would review this a little more thoroughly, but given its location on Essex Street, it is below a residential apartment building, but it's next door to the parking garage. It's next door on the other side to, I think it was McDonald's, or actually, yeah, there's a commercial space, and it's a very wide avenue. You're right near the intersection of Delancey. There's nothing across from it at the moment. That may change sometime in the near future, but if again, this was operated as a restaurant, even though it wasn't licensed. And I think that if I remember looking up, that restaurant actually may have even had later hours. You do have very reasonable hours of closing by 10 p.m. every night.
No, because we're more like a restaurant, authentic Sichuan restaurants. So
that's very clear.
Those are my normal basis hours.
Really early, even maybe, I might even say too early for some people, but
can't go there after a meeting.
But yeah, because we were not thinking of two term two group of people working there. So that's my normal business hours. I want people to come like real dining time.
Okay.
I know that some other restaurants, some other bars, they may open a little later, but that's not us. We wanted to open regular hours.
And again, this is going to be a little out of character, and I normally wouldn't say this. Would you, just because this might save you coming back at some point in the near future, that you might see you want to be open a little later, would you at least want your license maybe to at least 11? And that way, if you decide to be open to 11, you still have the flexibility of closing early.
Oh, I appreciate that, if that's possible, yes.
I mean, I just think that way, 10 p.m. is early. So if you
I appreciate that, yes, sir.
go 11 or.
Yes, 11 is fine.
I mean, I'm also, again, would you be willing, I mean, I think the committee would be willing to give you midnight because there's no residents in opposition. I don't think it's going to disturb anyone.
That's even better. 12 is perfect.
Okay. So and again, if you want to close at 10 p.m., you can, but this gives you the flexibility without having to come back to us to extend your hours.
Right. I appreciate that, sir. Yes. Thank you.
So we're going to make that change. It'll be 11 a.m. closing by 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. all days.
Okay.
Okay. So that was my main thing I was going to question. I don't have any other, there's really nothing else to question our application. I think it's a legitimate restaurant. Committee, anyone? Okay. So we're going to pull up the stipulation form, and this will be will be sent to you that you'll have to sign and return to the office, but just to go through it to make sure you agree with everything.
Okay.
So I guess Harriet was I think the main signer that was listed on the questionnaire for signing this.
Right.
Harriet is she the representative, or do you want it to be listed as you? Who do you want listed?
She will be the representative, yes.
So Harriet Lowe is a qualified representative of Fan Szechuan, located at 103 Essex Street. Agrees with the following stipulations. It will be a full liquor license. Will operate a full-service restaurant, specifically a Chinese Szechuan restaurant with a kitchen open and serving food during all hours. The hours of operation will be 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. all days. I will not use outdoor space for commercial use. We'll close all front and rear facades. I think currently it's a fixed facade. Are you going to change that to have any operable windows?
No.
So, I mean, do you want it just to be, I will have a closed fixed facade with no open doors and windows?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move that. I think on your application it was the other one, but we're going to say we'll have a closed fixed facade with no open doors or windows, except my entrance doors will make sure we close by 10 p.m. I will not DJs not have live music, no third party proven events. Any event which would cover fee is charged or scheduled performances. It will be ambient background recorded music only. Will not apply for an alteration without coming to CB3. Will not participate in pub crawls. Will not have unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches. Will not have a happy hour. Will not have wait lines. Will have a staff person to ensure no loitering, noise, or crowds. Will conspicuously post this stipulation before the liquor license, and residents may contact the owner at the number below. And it's Harriet Lowe, 516-998-8862.
Perfect. Yes.
So we're going to do a quick little roll call vote on this. This is the motion. John Fout.
Yes.
Sarah. Amanda.
Yes.
Clint. Yes. Michael. Yes. Okay. The motion passes. So the office will be sending you this stipulation form with instructions on what to do and when to return it. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to the office.
Okay. And just one more thing, sir. I just want to check because I think on the name is spelled wrong. I think the correct way to spell it is Harriette.
Oh, back in the stipulation.
The first name.
Just repeat that. What was it correctly?
It's more like French.
Harriette.
TTE. Okay. Okay. I think I've now corrected that. So
I appreciate that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we've got that corrected. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay. Okay. That is the last item. Susan was just going to give.
Too late.
Okay.
Susan, thanks.
Okay, so that being said, no other items. We're going to do a quick roll call vote for adjournment. John Fout. Present. Sarah Batchu.
Yes.
Amanda Liu. Yes. Clint Smeltzer. Yes. Michael Labarre. Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.